out of apartment 5B.
You're now tuned into the Apartment 5B podcast, where we chop it up about hip-hop, R&B, sports, love and life. Hosted by Kill.
What's good? You're to an Apartment 5B hosted by your man Kill. I got my squad with me in effect. It's a packed house tonight. I got my brother Jens from New Orleans. What's going on, good brother?
What up, Kill? How you doing? What's up, everybody?
Everything is good, bro. Nothing to complain about. Rel from the Philadelphia. What's good, bro?
What's good, man? Happy to be here.
All right, no doubt. JP out of Queens. What's going on?
What's good, brother? Always a pleasure when you invite me through.
No doubt. JR, you not looking happy today. We about to sing some songs. We gonna do something to get you looking good, brother.
What's going on? Yeah, I'm just ready.
I can't have you looking straight out there in these streets, man.
Yeah, I'm ready to have a good time. That's all.
All right, done deal. My brother Veg out of BK. What's going on, brother?
What up, y'all?
Dope music box shirt, man. Dope joint right there, man. Out in Vernonville, Amir, what's going on, good brother?
Yo, peace. How you, brother?
Hey, man, everything is good. Any chance I can get, I'm still talking about it. 21 grams, Pete Rock and Amir right here. My album of the year last year. Dope Boy Soul dropping this year, so definitely be on the lookout for that. We're going to be talking about the album later on in the show. Eddie out at 3K. What's going on, good brother?
Yo, what's good?
Man, everything's good. Y'all know me, let's jump right into it. So this week's topic, I was talking to my man the other days from Central Islip, Long Island. So we're talking, we're chopping it up. Made me think about one of my favorite songs back in the day was Rockin' for My Hometown by K Sola. You know what I mean? From Central Islip. So that was like the Central Islip, like their anthem back then. And it had me thinking about how much I used to fuck with K Sola's first album, but I don't ever hear nobody talking about it. So it made me think, what are hip hop albums and R&B albums you have them from the 90s, from that decade, 90 to 99, however folk do it, that nobody talks about. You don't see it on the timeline. You rarely ever hear it brought up, but that you thought was a crazy album. So that's what we're gonna be chopping up about today. I'm gonna set them off with what I just said. Tell the World My Name by K Solo, part of his squad. He had to join Spellbound, which me and Vega always laugh about because, like, in those days of hip hop, like, you all had like a karate style. Like, everybody had their own style. Like, and this nigga's style was spelling. Like, that was the wild part. Like, it's like, yo, nigga, what's your style in the cypher? Yo, nigga, I spell. Like, you know what I mean? Like, but Spellbound was dope as hell, man. You know what I mean? Spellbound was dope. He had the joint Rockin' for My Hometown, my other joint, Your Mom's in My Business. That was the banger right there. He had the joint Fugitive. He had this joint that I forgot. I haven't heard this song in years. Tales from the Crack Side, where he talks about getting high on crack. And he keeps telling these stories. And he keeps saying, I didn't do it, but the rhyme did it. And I was like, yo, it just brought back so many dope memories. I think this joint dropped in 1990, so I'm a junior in high school. Again, just walking with your Walkman on every day, just listening to it. So that's one of my joints right there on the hip hop side. On the R&B side, I got this joint, Aaron Hall's debut album, The Truth. This came out in '93. He had the slow down version of Don't Be Afraid. The sped up version, that was a joint that was on the Juice soundtrack. He was singing over the Public Enemy, Can't Trust the Beat, banger, certified banger. Don't Be Afraid was crazy. He had the slow down version of that. He had this joint called When You Need Me, Let's Make Love. But the joint most people knew the joint from was joint I Miss You, in the video where Shorty dies and everything like that, giving birth. That was like, the heartbreak video back in the day. So those are my two joints right there. They're my first two. Tell the World My Name by K Solo and The Truth by Aaron Hall. Jens, what you got for your first joints, good brother?
All right, I'll go with my R&B selection first. I got Gerald Levert's album Private Line. I think that album is really, really, really dope. Title track kind of sound like he's kind of singing on the Soul to Soul joint a little bit. Shit, I forget what the Soul to Soul joint is, but anyway, it sounds like that. That song, the Baby Hold On to Me, of course, is definitely a good song. And Just Because I'm Wrong, that's a good song too, because that's the kind of song you could use against your wife or your girlfriend if you ever.
Ooh, break that down. Just because you're wrong. Like, what's the whole concept? Like, she fucked up this time?
Well, he says just because I'm wrong don't mean that you're right.
Right.
Oh, okay.
So you know what I'm saying? Like, it's that kind of thing. You know, it don't necessarily get y'all in no trouble though. If you know, you know.
All right.
And my first hip hop joint, I'm gonna go with a cat out of California. He used to go by the name of Deadly Threat, but then he changed his name just to Threat. This dude appeared on early Tupac albums. His album is called Sick in the Head. And there's a song called PDK that's dope. That's like the intro to the album. Real dope funk. The whole album is, West Coast funk, but it's real hard though as far as how the tracks are laid. So I would say PDK and Give It Up would be two of my standouts off of that. So, like I said, Threat, Sick in the Head, and Mr. Gerald Levert, R.I.P. with Private Line.
Now tell me this, because in the 90s, everybody was clicked up. So is this a local dude? Was he signed? Like, whose crew was this cat Threat with? Is he West Coast, down south? I've never heard of him.
It's West Coast, California. That's what I was saying. Like, he appeared on Tupac's album. He was on a couple of joints like that. He's also known for being on the song Colorblind off of Cube's Death Certificate album. So, you'd have to kind of go back and check that out and you'd hear him on it. But this dude is real, real dope. He only had this one album far as I know. But I mean, he had a lot of guest appearances, and I think it's one of the albums that definitely was slept on. You don't see too many people speaking on. So it's real dope in my opinion.
All right, no doubt. JP, what you got for your first joints, bro?
I'm gonna go R&B first. It's an album that came out in '97 that was entirely produced by Chucky Thompson, by the artist called Frankie. I had to pull out the CD because I was like, I ain't listened to it in a minute, but I was listening to it earlier. It's one of these great R&B albums that's like quintessential '90s that nobody ever talked about. It was on. I think he was on Chucky's. I think he was Chucky's first artist.
That was like Chuck. I was about to say it's like Chuck's first artist, right?
Yeah, it was. I mean, it's like Faith is singing on the album. He's got some classic, and I mean, when you know Chucky Thompson, so his classic sound is all over this album. You know what I mean? So
now was this like a young boy singer, like a little kid singer, or was
he was grown. Like, and I think he might have been from DC too. I think he's from DC as well, but I'm not exactly sure. But he was grown man, like in his 20s. So
what I'm thinking? I'm thinking Sammy from the verse. That's what I'm thinking. Sammy, you said Frankie. I'm like, is it a little kid? All right.
No. Grown man.
All right.
Grown man. So
I gotta listen to that because you're like the second or third person who talked about that album. I know JR talks about it a lot, but yeah, I gotta check that out. Do you know if it's streaming?
You know what? That's a good question. I'm not sure.
I'm not sure either.
All right. I'll dig in the crates. I'll find it. But it's just called Frankie. That's the name of the album.
The name of the album is called My Heart Belongs to You.
All right, My Heart Belongs to You. They don't win Jodeci. How you gonna buy the fucking Jodeci song? The time of your album. I'm just saying, like, that's like, yo, name my album, just come and talk to me. Nigga, you be like, yo, it's Jodeci. But neither you know that. What's your hip hop joint?
No, I didn't get it. I don't got a hip hop joint yet. I was
all
trying to think of a couple ones that I wanted to do, but I'm trying to decide.
All right, no doubt. Hey, what you got for your first joint, bro?
All right, I'll keep the trend going. Start with an R&B joint. Most people remember this from 1997. Chico DeBarge's debut album.
Man. That was my clip. That was in my bag, man.
I knew somebody was gonna say it.
Yeah, but I mean, as you can see, very dope album. Couple of joints on there.
This joint right here.
Oh, you got the CD? Yeah.
Oh, man, I love this joint, bro.
Yeah, man. Couple of joints on there, man. I even like his Trouble Man, his version of Trouble Man.
Yep. His Marvin joint.
Yeah.
Really dope album. It in some ways it's surprising that people don't talk about it that much. At least I don't see it when they talk about, the 90s and the neo soul movement. Especially when I look, like Googled, best albums from the 90s or whatever, R&B albums. And, you'll see D'Angelo and Erykah Badu and Maxwell, all the usual suspects. But sometimes you don't see this Chico DeBarge album, and it was really dope.
Veg, for me, that was because he was almost a broke-ass D'Angelo. Like, it really took D'Angelo. It was like, it was that time span. I know for me, at least, I'm a huge D'Angelo fan. So when there wasn't no follow-up to Brown Sugar, I was just gravitating to anything that sounded like it. You know what I mean? And when I saw the video for Iggy Me, I was like, yo, this shit sound like D'Angelo. You know what I mean? It's just, to me, it's almost like he took D'Angelo's style, but he did it justice. Like, he didn't fuck it up. He didn't do it better than D'Angelo, but it was still a dope album. And then the No Guarantee with Joe was crazy, too. Like, that joint was bananas, too.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah, I think that may be why people don't talk about this album, because it's almost be like if another group came out like Das Effects. Like, it's almost like he literally bit D'Angelo's whole style. But it's a dope album. Like, it's a dope album. So I'm assuming maybe that's why it's not talked about more.
Yeah, I'm a huge D'Angelo fan, and I never felt like that, honestly.
Okay.
I think only because I felt like D'Angelo was so unique, even with that sound, that Chico DeBarge music, even though it reminded me of that vibe, it's why I liked D'Angelo. So it was kind of like more of it. Sort of that more no shade to the new R&B, but more that masculine, R&B.
Right.
Yeah.
Not these moist ass niggas that are saying
moist ass niggas. Yo, that's his t-shirt, man. I'm telling y'all don't realize how much game y'all come up with on this show. Moist ass niggas need to be a t-shirt somewhere. So I'm just telling you, Vegas, moist ass niggas.
Gotta put pause on the back though, because these new niggas.
Here's the thing.
Well, they'll confuse
since you originated that, since you pioneered that word, what would an example of a moist ass nigga be? Who would be a good example of a moist ass nigga right now?
There's so many of them. Now, I don't know if there's like a poster child for it, but no, there is. And don't get me wrong, I like some of his stuff. But when I see John Legend,
that's a moist ass nigga.
The sexiest man or GQ or whatever. Come on, man.
I would say Drake goes in that moist category.
Now we got to find what moist is, because now I'm confused. Like I was expecting one of these young boy singers for you to pull up one of these young boys singers. So John Legend, what's the definition of a moist ass nigga? Like, is it a sucker nigga? Like, what's a moist ass nigga?
I mean, I was honestly originally I was just saying it based off of the basically the verses that I didn't watch. Right, everybody said cats couldn't sing, right? Singing softly and stuff like that. Not to say that everybody's like that, but that's not my preferred style of singing. When it comes to
I got you.
Singers.
I know what
I'm more of a Temptation sounding brothers. Listen to them.
Right.
Shit, you look at them, you like, yeah, I don't want them niggas to jump me because they look dangerous.
All right, no doubt. What you got for your hip hop joint?
On the hip hop side, I got X Clan out of 1992. Exodus. I think everybody always refers to the debut album.
Right.
The album is fire. It's almost no skips on this album. And I think I just don't. So occasionally I'll see, like, shout out to Nick. I'll see like him post an anniversary or whatever.
Right.
But yeah, in '92 when I heard this album, and ironically, I bought it around the time my cousin passed. So I was listening to it all the time, and it kind of brings that memory back. But it was sort of a comfort zone at the same time. You know what I'm saying? The music.
Right.
And at the same time, I'm still a hip hop head, right? That didn't stop. And I was like, damn, this album is dope. I just don't ever hear anybody talk about it, from the beats to the concepts to the lyrics. Brother Jay is killing it on this record.
Brother Jay got one of the dopest voices in hip hop.
For real.
Right. But yeah, very dope album. Songs like FTP, Fuck the Police, basically. Was dope. Adam was another one that was really dope. Cosmic Art. A lot of it is just the sound of this album, you know, combined with the lyrics and the concepts. But the sound of this album is just so underappreciated in hip hop for that time that I think, you know, people either didn't.
And what year was this?
This was 92.
92.
Yeah.
All right.
It's called Exodus.
I'm just always trying to think, like, what was the climate of hip hop at that time? You know what I mean? Like in '92, that's Black Moon. So I think maybe we're possibly starting to get away from the, you know, the pro-Black part of hip hop and get more into the Heineken and Blunt era of hip hop. You know what I'm saying? So maybe I'm just always trying to think why things didn't blow up. So
this was before the Black Moon boot camp era.
Oh, you said 90. I'm bugging. I thought you said I'm thinking 92.
1992 is when this came out.
Yeah. So I think End of the Stage dropped in 93. I just remember 92 was who got the props. I remember coming to Morgan, me having my backpack on and thinking I was Buckshot Shorty. So it's probably just a single that dropped at the time. But
right.
All right. No doubt. Bro, what you got for your next joint, bro?
I got for my hip hop John, I got MC8, Compton's Most Wanted, We Come Strapped. When West Coast albums get mentioned, like this one don't get mentioned enough. Like it's literally maybe one skip on this John, maybe, like it's fire. You know what I'm saying? Got All for the Money, Compton Psycho, all that. Yo, 8 was in his bag, and this is right around. I mean, this is not too long after Straight Up Menace, but the Compton's Most Wanted, MC8, We Come Strapped album is crazy. One of the best, one of my favorite West Coast albums, you know what I'm saying? And it's coming from somebody from Philly, you know what I mean? But it's fire. And it don't really get talked about enough, in my opinion. And my R&B John is the Soul For Real album. People think about Candy Rain and the other single, but that album is solid. Like production-wise, song-wise, that album is solid all the way through. Even like the slow jams on that John is solid. It's like a well put together, well produced album that, you know what I'm saying, people only think about Candy Rain when they think about Soul For Real, to be honest. But you listen to that album, it's a solid, well produced, well sung R&B album. So that's my R&B John.
You know the funny thing is, bro, I've never even heard that album.
Really?
I never even heard it. I mean, I think Soul For Real is like 93, 94. I'm in Morgan.
95.
95. I'm Die Hard.
Oh, yeah.
Group Home. You know what I mean? Candy Rain is a cool song, but I kind of always look at them as like kids. You know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? So, but did Hef produce the whole album? Do we know? You know me, I'm always in my producer bag.
Damn near most of it, yeah.
Like 90% of it.
Yeah.
All right, I gotta check that joint out then. Jim, what you got up for yours?
Well, mine gonna be all R&B tonight. My first one is Horace Brown, his debut.
God, I forgot about Horace Brown, man.
Yeah, like I think a lot of people only know, like, you know what I'm saying, Things We Do for Love and One for the Money. Those are the ones that everybody know. But I'm like, yo, he got this dope duet that he got on there with Faith. How Can We Stop? And it kind of sounds like the Soon As I Get Home remix with Aaron Hall and Faith. But I think they kind of switched it up. Stevie J kind of switched up the production a little bit, but it kind of gives you that.
What label was he on?
Huh?
What label was he on? You remember?
Motown, and that's when Andre took over? First moved over there. So he was kind of the first artist out on when Andre went over there, and it was like, you know, he didn't get the push. And I mean, he had Taste Your Love came out in '94 when he was on Uptown, but it got banned in a lot of places because he was talking about oral sex. So it didn't get the promotion that he did. So then he went into a lot of background like Christopher Williams, and he did all that. And I think
that song got banned.
It literally got banned. Yeah, it got banned. A lot of stations wouldn't play it.
That's true.
Wow.
So a lot of people didn't know. A lot of people didn't know about it. So
I mean, he didn't do no slick SWV downtown. He just was talking about.
When you hear Taste for Love, now if you listen to it now, you be like, for real, like this. You know what I'm saying? Okay, but back then, you know how they were about radio. Right. You know what I'm saying? So it was like, nah, this ain't rocking. So once the promotion didn't do well and all that kind of stuff, they didn't drop them. They just shelved them. So Andre was like, I'm gonna take you with me over to Motown, and that didn't work. You know what I'm saying? But I think they took that and gave it to Case. If you ask me, Def Jam saw what they did with him and gave it to Case, because Case and Horace Brown got the same damn near vocal tones anyway, and they knew what to do with Case. They gave him Touch Me, Tease Me, and it blew up. You see what I'm saying? And didn't have that thing to push him, and he kind of just went to the side. But I think his album is dope. A lot of people don't talk about it, but I would recommend everybody go listen to it.
All right, no doubt. Amir, what's going on, good brother? What's the album you got on tap for us?
R&B or rap first? Okay. Nah, I think I had to dig back, because some of it was like I'm not qualified to speak on the whole joints, but when I think back, bro, the albums that I heard people playing around me, and it was one nigga. That nigga $500,000 had New York on tilt for a minute. Like, he was, $500,000. His joints was tough, bro. The Hood, every hood in New York around 2003, like late '99, like around early 2000. He had this, you know. And then you see the Firm embrace him, like before he even had like a real situation. So that was ill to see that. And as far as the R&B album, bro, Groove Theory had a mean album, like, yes, and they, you know, and Bright, they from Mount Vernon too, so, well, at least, you know, homie is. So Groove Theory's album, as far as R&B, was one of the first R&B albums I heard my sister playing, and I was kind of like, once again, stealing her shit, you know. But the bop on it was mean, and I thought Shorty was bad, so, you know, that further. And I don't even know the Bright. He didn't even make beat. He didn't even sing though, right?
No,
he was a producer.
Nope.
And he was kind of like a face card for the chicks. So, but Shorty, Amel LaRue, yeah. Like, when I first seen her, it was kind of like, I was like, oh, and then the way she, you know, to me that was some fly. She wasn't the illest vocalist, but that was the first version of some fly, like, R&B that I vibe with, that still had like a hip hop bop to it, but it wasn't overly produced. It was produced properly for her voice. Yeah, right. Those my two.
All right, Eddie, what you got for yours?
I'm gonna start out with a heavy D joint, and that's a Peaceful Journey. I don't see this album getting talked about. Usually, you know, I think Blue Funk has been getting its flowers, and, you know, like the earlier albums like Big Time and stuff like that. But, you know what I mean? If you look at Peaceful Journey, like this joint is full of hits. And I mean, You had some early Pete Rock production on that as well, and then you had like the mix of the New Jack Swing joints with the Pete Rock joints, and it all fit well together. You know what I mean? Like he had joints like Now That We Found Love, and then he had Don't Curse on there. Then he had Peaceful Journey, the title track. Is It Good For You? And then The Lover's Got What You Need, right? So it was a really dope mix, and album just flowed well. I feel like it's one of his best albums, personally.
All right, no doubt. You got any R&B or you hip hop?
I'm only doing hip hop today.
All right, no doubt. The next joint I got up, I'm gonna go with No Pressure by Eric Sermon. Eric Sermon's first his solo album, his first solo album. This came out, I want to say 92, 93. It had Hidden Switches, Stay Real. One of my favorite joints on there was Hostile with Keith Murray. That's the first time we heard Keith Murray. Yeah, like, yo, Keith Murray coming from the North. Oh my, yo, and then at the end, yo, the Cerebellum, you got a crew, you better tell them. Like, yo, like I was like, yo, this dude is nasty. And the video had the switchblade under the tongue and all that shit. I was like, yo, this shit is dope. And he had a joint called A Little Crazy. Another group a lot of people don't remember from the 90s was this group called Shades of Lingo. They was on Eric's label. So that's the album that introduced us Keith Murray and Shades of Lingo. On the R&B side, I'm gonna go with this boy Alfonso Hunter, Black of the Berry. Edward Sermon had snatched up this R&B boy. Yeah. He had to join the video. I mean, the main single was Weekend Thing. You know what I mean? But the album, Black of the Berry, yo, he got this joint on here called Would You Be Mine? That's crazy. He's got this joint called Quiet Time where he's singing over Nas's One Love. Yeah. You know what I mean? Just the sample of the Heath Brothers, not the drums and all of that, but just sample, which is crazy. But a very, very dope R&B album that I don't know what it was, JR. Maybe you got some hindsight into how some of these R&B, especially, seem to be a lot of male singers. Like you just brought up Horace Brown, Vegas brought up Chico DeBarge, I'm bringing up Alfonso Hunter, where these black R&B singers, like in that 96 to 2000 period, I don't know if R&B was going through something, but these are some great albums that we're talking about that just never saw the light of day.
You know, what's his name? What was D'Angelo's guy? What's his
Kedar Massenberg?
Yes, he killed it. Once he got D'Angelo out, he was the focus. So it was like he was pushing D'Angelo like crazy, because y'all know in 95 D'Angelo album it was a sleeper. It didn't really hit until like 96. And once that happened, everybody wanted their own D'Angelo, but he was getting all that promo money, so he was throwing it at Maxwell, throwing it at Erica. It was like they were getting all of that, and everybody else was kind of falling by the wayside. Because you had Sam Slaughter, you had, Alfonso, you had all these good albums, but they were getting no attention because everybody was focusing on D'Angelo and focusing on, that, and then the groups started to break up then. So it was a transition in R&B by that time. So it was a lot of people falling by the wayside, for real.
All right, no doubt. JP, what you got for your next joints?
All right, I'm gonna go with one of my favorite groups of all time, and I'm gonna say Beats, Rhymes, and Life, man. I really rock with that album, personally.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? But coming off of two humongous, I understand. But imagine if that came before it. Would it really be that bad? But I understand. I know it wasn't well received, but when I go back and listen to it, there's some joints on there that, like, the drums is always
hard. There's some bangers on there.
There's some bangers on there. I mean, the Stressed Out joint with Faith Evans and the first single with Tammy Lucas,
Once Again.
It was when he was running through the cleaners and all that, but Get a Hole.
That's my joint.
Crazy.
Yes.
It's a lot of just joints like that. Crew and certain joints like that.
The jam is crazy.
Yeah. So, I mean, go back and listen to it. Listen to it again. Like, this ain't too bad, but compared to, like I said, the back-to-back monsters, it didn't really have a chance. You know, you expected them to continue that, but it didn't happen. But it was still a good album, I think.
I think it was a very, very good album. Very good album. I think it just felt, for me, it felt like listening back to it now, it's like, it felt like I told somebody, it's like watching your parents get divorced. Like, it just, the magic to me wasn't there no more. Like, you know, Fife moved to Atlanta. Here Comes Consequence. I just remember getting out and being like, yo, who the fuck is this nigga? Rhyming on every why is Consequence? So it almost felt like Fife moved to Atlanta and Tip was like, you know what, fuck you, nigga. I'm gonna get my young cousin. Like how Fife was like, yo, I wasn't even on, he's not even on the official Stressed Out. You know what I mean? And it was like, yo, how am I not on the single? And then they had to do the remix. So and then bringing in Dilla. So I think it's a very good album. I just think it was just so many moving pieces in it.
Yeah.
That it just didn't click.
It felt different. It didn't feel like just didn't click. As cohesive as the previous joint. So I get that.
You're right. There's at least 7 songs on there that I absolutely love. You know what I mean? Like love.
Yeah. Right.
You know what I mean?
But I don't think you don't hear that. You don't hear people talk about that album like, you know, Midnight and you go in. So it's like, so for R&B, I'm gonna go with Chris Jones. The Ghetto Cyrano. Yeah, man, that album right there. I think, I don't know if being on Roc-A-Fella was the best thing for them.
No, it wasn't.
You know what I'm saying? But as an album, it was a really good album. Like I thought it was great. Like these brothers could sing. The music, it wasn't even typical. Like it had a more of an older feel. Like you could tell it was influenced from the '60s, like Marvin Gaye and all that stuff. So it had a different feel than we were used to for that time. Because that was what, 97? Yeah. So and I love that these two dudes was dressed up, and you know they. In the video, they portrayed how the music sound, like they gave you the vibe that you expect to see with that, but it just didn't take off. But they got some good joints. Bring Back Your Love is one of my favorite joints on there. Like they got some really good joints on that album, but it's not talked about. Like, you know, it has maybe a little slight cult following. Like people love this album, but it's not talked about like one of the big R&B albums of the 90s.
Now tell me this: you said because they were on rock, how you think that hurt them?
No, I was asking. I wasn't the best thing, like, because I'm thinking for R&B, especially at that time, the Roc was all a hip hop label, and I mean they were popular, so that made people look at them just because of that. Oh, this R&B group down. Let me take a look. But were they? I mean, how many people who push R&B were on that label knew how to do, you know, service them well?
Right.
No, I'm just
servicing hip hop. Maybe didn't know how to service the R&B lane,
right? Especially since they didn't sound like the blend of hip hop and R&B. You know,
it's not like they
that would have made more sense for Roc-A-Fella. You know what I mean?
And
but
then
that was really more old school R&B sounding cats.
And
so
then Roc-A-Fella wasn't that huge yet either. So this is like 97. So I mean, Jay's still getting his foot in too, as far as that. So they not getting that money for that R&B world. They worrying about Jay. Because remember, Rel was even on there with them.
I was gonna say Rel was dope.
And then nothing happened with him. You know what I'm saying? Because they wasn't getting that money to push them. So it was just like you saw their videos on like Video Soul, and then that was it. Like. There was no performances. There was no nothing. You know what I'm saying? So it was kind of like they went by the wayside because all the focus was on Jay. Like,
yeah, so I think it's that, and it could have just been like Jay said. It's a hip hop label. You know what I mean? If me and Vegas have a hip hop label, and we decide to sign Yentz, who's a country artist, like all we know how to do is market him the same way that we market hip hop, but that's totally different. You know, the country people may not want no logo, no fucking Harley Davidson jackets, or no stickers. You know, they could have been sending, WDAS, all this hip hop shit. Like, yo, come, they're like, we don't put that. So, and then I think your point too, JR, is huge, is that Roc was just starting to pop because 97 is only in my lifetime. Jay's second. Yeah. Right, you know what I mean? So it's still not like we talking about Roc-A-Fella like after the Hard Knock Life album.
Right.
You know what I mean? So. It could have been a mixture of both, but yeah, them and Rel were both dope, and I thought like, yo, this is a perfect combination. You got Jay, you got Bleak, you got them, you got Rel. Like, it's a nice little foundation to a label, and it just didn't pop that way. It didn't pop that way. Veg, what you got up next for yours?
What I got for R&B? Well, most of mine are like an album in a group or artist's catalog. In some cases that people mostly don't talk about. So for R&B, I have 112's second album from 1998, Room 112. I think a lot of people forget about that album because all the focus is on the first album, Cupid, and all that.
What was the single off the second album?
Love Me.
What was
with
it?
him with Mace.
Yeah,
Love You Like I Did. No, yes.
Wait, what was the joint with Any Place?
That's this.
That's this album. Okay.
Anywhere.
Anywhere. Yeah. Okay.
Love You Like I Did. Love Me with Mace.
Right.
Yeah, those were the singles.
And there was a couple of joints over there. I remember feeling, I like those records. But this is what, 98? So this is after Biggie dies, and the label just has a whole nother vibe because that happened. And I think a lot of people, the bad boy engine started to slow down a little bit anyway. But when I bought the album, I was like, damn, this album's really good. Like, there's a lot of people sleeping on it. But I think it was just a sign of the times. And in 98, Roc-A-Fella was starting to take over. So a lot of the spotlight was off of Bad Boy, or starting to get off of Bad Boy at this time. But this is a really good album from 112. On the hip hop side, I have an album that I see more people talk about it now, but even when they talk about it, they bring it up in conversations like this. The Smooth the Hustler out of 1996, Once Upon a Time in America. It was dope back then, but when you go back now, you kind of, your mind is blown because you're like, damn, why aren't more people talking about this? Like, it's so many dope joints on there. Obviously, the one that gets the most attention is Broken Language, because it's just, I don't think we've seen anything like that since, as far as, just spitting like that, and the back and forth with him and Trigger, man, just perfect. Then maybe they should have just went the group route and continued.
Damn right.
Couple of joints off of here, man, and I kind of listen to it more now than I did back then, because I think back then, what would I say? This is 96. We talked about 96.
Yeah, it's just too much.
Came out in 96, right? So it was so much that came out in 96. For us back then, we had to sit with an album, right? So it was just certain shit we wasn't going to sit with, because you got Tupac albums, Redman, you got all the Fugees, you got all this music coming through. So certain things got missed, and I think a lot of people slept on this joint. So that was mine.
96 to me is like a buffet, like going to a buffet. Like, you can't try everything. You know what I mean? It's almost like, yo, nigga, you ain't eat the ribs. Like, nah, nigga, I eat the, I'm already full. Like, I eat the shit. Like, you got to come back. And that, when you had that much great hip hop like that, yeah, because Smooth, and I mean, like you said, Broken Language, bro. Like, that was crazy to the point when I heard Heather, what's her name, JR? Heather Headley?
Heather Headley.
With her first single, He Is. And I heard it, and I'm like, yo, she been Smooth the Hustler style. She like, he's the love protector. I was like, yo, shorty been Smooth the Like, yo, that's the whole Smooth the Hustler style right there. Like, yeah, I've never heard nothing like Broken Language. And I remember being at EAA, and the A side was called Hustler. That was supposed to be the single that they wanted the radio to push, but nobody played that shit. Everybody was just playing the B side, which was Broken Language, which was totally against the grain of what the labels wanted us to play. They was like, nah, you gotta get hustling. We need that chart. I was like, nah, that shit whack. This shit crazy, and then that became the video and everything like that. So crazy. Yes, what you got up next for yours, good brother?
I'm gonna go with Spice One's album 187 he wrote. And anybody's a Spice One fan, you know this is one of the great albums he put out.
He's from the Bay, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Standout tracks is the title track 18070 Rope for me, and there's another one called Running Out of the Crack House. That shit is dope as hell too.
This nigga has a song called Running Out of the Crack House.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is he running out of the crack house in the song?
Yeah, it's a story. So you know,
I'm gonna listen to this. I gotta hear this one.
Yeah, you know, it's dope. It's something I think you'll like.
All right.
But yeah, I just got that one for hip hop. I'm tapped out R&B wise, so that was my Spice 18070 Rope.
All right, no doubt. Rel, what you got next, brother?
Yeah, I'm going straight hip hop. I got Mike Geronimo, The Natural. Fire. You know, Master IC, Shit Is Real. You know what I mean? Like that album was fire, man. Like, and I actually listened to it not too long ago, and just kind of jogged my memory of like how dope it was. But that, you know, that came out in '95, and it's crazy with these '90s albums and groups because there's so many dope people got overlooked. You know what I'm saying? Because like I got a long list of.
Oh, me too, bro. I got a whole. My honorable mention list is like long for hip hop because it was so much,
and it was just a lot. And like, you know, Mike Geronimo, he had a lot of promise with this album. You know what I'm saying? Like, and then he went in another direction on the second one, but this one was fire. You know what I'm saying? All the way through for me. I can listen to it. And like Master IC, Master IC was like one of my favorite songs.
Yeah,
like,
crazy.
That song is just crazy, and it, you know, it's one of them songs like he flowed perfect on that beat. The vibe of that song is crazy, so I'm gonna go with that. Mike.
Yeah, bro, this shit was crazy, bro. I mean, the Buck Wild Master IC. You had the Shit Is Real, the Irv Gotti joint that was crazy. You got Life Check, the Beat Miners was on here. Wherever You Are, Mark Spark did a lot of production on this shit. JP, how'd you feel about this joint? This shit is Queens. Whenever I think of Queens, I think of you. So,
I mean, I loved it. You know, when he first came out with Shit Is Real with the
Denise Williams
sample, man, I thought it was crazy. He was just rhyming in his bedroom, like it was like, yo, like I know these type niggas, like these niggas is from, I know these niggas, like, you know, they all like recognizable to me. It felt like home, you know what I'm saying? So, and then when he came, Master IC was just crazy. I mean, Buck Wild, that beat's crazy. One of my favorite.
And the craziest thing about it, bro, is that it's such a slow tempo.
So, yo, like, I was just about to. It's like 80,
it's nothing that's gonna bang in. Yeah, it's not nothing that's gonna bang in the club. It's nothing nobody's dancing to. It's a slow tempo joint with xylophones, but it was just that I'm so high. Like that always bugged me when slow songs blow up like that, because like usually like you want something to bang to or something that you like bring the pain, something up tempo. But man, Master IC was just crazy.
Yeah, when you think about it, it kind of mirrored his flow, because even on Shit Is Real, I think I like the way he would draw out his words every time. Right. Like he would really express himself by drawing out his words, you know, kind of articulated, but like you said, with Master IC and that beat matched with him so perfectly. I think what kind of messed him up a little bit, even with the first album, because when he dropped Shit Is Real, the buzz was crazy. That single, I still have it, the cassette.
And at that time, Queens was on fire. Like that was like, to me, that was like around the time like the 2000 when Philly was on fire. You had Beans, Freeway, Cassidy. Like Queens was on fire in 95, 94, 95, 96. Like it was almost like as a label, you're not signing a Queens nigga. Like right now, like you know, you gotta get a Queens nigga. Like, but yeah. And the funny part is, Veg, like you said, I don't know if Buck Wild gives that beat to somebody else if it does the same, has that same impact. Because like you said, it just matched his style so perfect. Because I really honestly think if somebody would have played me that beat in 95, I probably would have been like, yo, that's dope. Like, that's cool. Like, I probably wouldn't have been like, oh, shit. But you mixed that beat in with Mike had, it was just like, then it became that, oh, shit moment. Like, this shit is crazy. This shit is crazy.
That shit tonight. Maybe you want to listen to that shit
right. Right. Yeah, like, that shit crazy. Man, what you got on next?
Appreciate that, Ralph.
Got you, bro.
With the nice alley-oop right there. With the alley-oop for you.
Got you, bro.
Man, what you got up next, good brother?
I got I wrote down. You know what's funny? And when I was like, that dude A+. We talk about albums. I think A+ for the shorties around that time. A+ had an album called Him Said Hi. I thought he was nice.
I remember that joint.
Mm-hmm.
I remember. I was a fan. Like, you know, I thought he was fire.
Yo, his first album, he had Prodigy on there. He had his first The Latchkey Child. He had Prodigy, AZ. He had some good features on that joint for a kid. You know what I'm saying?
And you know, I'm gonna stick around. Like, what's that? The kid name from Philly, Jamal.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Man.
Now you talking.
Yeah. He had a joint that I thought niggas overlooked. And I just remember these type of guys because I'm kind of like looking at them like, oh shit, like, you know, I was baffled by him, right? So, those groups to me were definitely overlooked. I mean, but they was in a grown man sport, so I don't know if they really got the respect. But if you listen to what they were saying, bro, like them niggas was going crazy on their shit. Jamal definitely that Keep It Real remix, whatever the fuck, that shit was fire.
Yeah, and now that Pete Rock Fades Them All remix, that was shit. That Fades Them All was crazy, man. It's funny because I'm looking at this from what JP was just asking about Christian and Bad Boy. I forgot that Jamal was on Rowdy, which is an R&B label. That was Dallas's label. You know what I mean? So it's funny that JP brought that up with the Rock, because now I'm like wondering why didn't that break up? And I'm like, right, this nigga was on Rowdy. It's an R&B label. You know what I mean? So I'm wondering if some of these things just have to be, I mean, I don't know, if you were a hip hop artist and you signed to a country label, can you expect to blow up? Or vice versa?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because Jamal, I mean, Illegal was, I mean, out of all them little kids groups, Illegals to me were the only legit group that was out there. Malik sounded crazy. When I heard We Gets Busy with that Eric Sermon and they was dissing everybody, and then you hear Malik on Snoop, on Doggy Style, and then you hear Jamal with the Def Squad. It was like, yo, how can these two not blow up? Like, yo, you had Pete Rock remix in fucking 96. Like, yo, it's supposed to be a guaranteed gold record right there, if nothing else, you know? But because this was a tight album, man. This was a dope album. Eric Sermon, Easy Mo B, Rockwilder producing it, Mike Dean. You had Eric on it, Keith Murray, Redman. Wow, yeah, that's a dope puller, man. I forgot about Jamal for a minute. Yeah, that's a good pull. Eddie, what you got up for your joints?
Yo, I got the Bush Babies. They had this joint, Gravity. I think that album came out in '96. So for those unfamiliar, Reflection Eternal had a joint, Fortified Live, and Mr. Man from the Bush Babies was featured on that joint with Most and Quality. And Most was featured on 3 joints on this album. Really dope.
The Love Song.
SOS joint, the Love Song. He had 3 MCs featuring Q-Tip. Title track was dope. I mean, they had a nice vibe, West Indies, dude. So, you had that vibe to it. So, very, very different. I don't know. I don't hear nobody talk about it. But it was a nice, like, we talk about 96 having, being like a gumbo, like a little bit of everything, right? So this was kind of part of that, right? It was a whole different lane that they filled with their style and their sound. So I thought it was really dope.
All right, no doubt.
That was on my list, Eddie. Bush Baby. Yeah, that album's fire. That album's fire. That's when I first heard Mos Def. was on the Love Song on that joint. Yeah.
Word.
Dope. Next joint I got up. Nobody talks about this record. It's funny. A lot of people say this album was a disappointment, but I love. Oh, I'm sorry, babe. I didn't go, or you had something to say?
You skipped JR.
JR.
My bad, JR.
Really?
Bro, I was trying to go in a different order because we packed, so I didn't want to make everybody keep waiting till the end. I apologize. I won't do that shit again. Fucking everybody just gonna have to wait. Yeah, I apologize, brother. I was just trying to mix it up so people ain't have to wait all the way to the end. So my bad.
I get it. It's all good. But honestly, I think a lot of people do talk about it, but I just don't like how they do it. The Bobby album, to me, I feel like it gets pushed.
That's the second one.
Yeah, no, the third. It gets pushed into the Whitney years, and I don't think it's fair to me. And I feel like everybody, I mean, don't be cruel. You can't say how months that was. Like, it was what it was. But the Bobby album is a great album to me, and a lot of people don't even talk about it like that. They just
what's the singles? I
got around, Get Away, Good Enough. Yeah, I think that was it. But that's the way love is, and then Something in Common. But I'm like, y'all, this is a good album. I think like Bobby was able to really be artistic and really have, more. He wrote more on it. He sounded better, all that. And they just kind of just put it under the Whitney years. You see all his biographies. You see all of this. It's like after Don't Be Cruel, it's done. It's like they forget about it. And then they go back when he went back with New Edition. And then that's it. It's like that album there, they don't really talk about. So.
Let me ask you this, JR. Do you think, because Nay was asking me about Bobby Brown, we were watching something, she was asking me about Bob, and I was saying how Don't Be Cruel's 88. I'm a freshman in high school. At that time, there really was no bad boy hip hop. I mean, I'm sorry, bad boy R&B. There wasn't really any bad boy R&B. Everybody was clean cut. Everybody was everything. Even Bob's first song, Girlfriend, that was,
very
in the
New Edition-ish.
Yeah, very New Edition. Now you got Bob talking about Don't Be Cruel, my prerogative, it's my money, I'ma spend it. Right said, this nigga bringing girls up on stage, humping them. Like he was like how NWA would be like, yo, if you do fuck the police, you getting arrested. Like Bob was like that. Like if you bring this girl on stage and you hump her, nigga, you getting arrested. Like he was that bad boy of R&B. But by the time the second and third album came out, now we got Jodeci. Now we got, BBD was becoming more hip hop. Do you think that affected Bob in just the way that people viewed him? That he no longer was the only bad boy of R&B now?
I think I can agree to that too, but I also think because Bobby was supposed to come out in 91. Okay. And the label pushed it back again. And I think that was another problem too, because after 91 comes out, it's like you said, you got Jodeci coming in, you got Boyz II Men coming in, you got all these new people coming in, and then Michael drops Dangerous. It ruins, because Bobby was running the New Jack Swing style. He was the king of it. So now you got literally the king coming with a New Jack Swing album, and you coming right after him. So it's like following, you know what I'm saying? Before it was like Bobby and them trying to follow you, and now you're following them, and it was just like right then and there. It kind of then he got with Whitney, and after she came out with The Bodyguard, nobody cared about Bobby anymore. It was like we cared about your relationship, and we don't care about the music no more.
Do you think when Whitney hurt his image? You think Get With Whitney? Because the reason I say Bob Get With Whitney for me at least was like Jay-Z getting with Celine Dion. It'd be like, yo, what the fuck? Like, nigga, how the fuck you get with nobody would have ever thought in a million fucking years if I would have came back from the future and told you that Don't Be Cruel was gonna get married to fucking, Saving All My Love For You. People would have been like, nigga, you crazy. So do you think that hurt his image a little bit?
Yeah, Teddy told him, he was like, don't marry her, yo. He told him, do not marry her. It's going to mess up what everybody love about you. And it's going to be about you and her. And it ended up being about them two. It was like every interview Bobby did during that era. How were you and Whitney? y'all this, y'all that. It was no longer about the music anymore. It was about his relationship. And I said, y'all should have capitalized on that and just brought out something in common rather than do all that other stuff. I'm saying shit. If everybody gonna talk about it, throw that out. But they threw the single out there with L.A. Reid with that whack ass remix.
Yeah, because I was gonna say Humping Around was not good. I mean, like it just Humping Around was not a good song. Like nobody was like banging Humping Around in the hood.
Yeah, I think they put all the money behind it and all that kind of stuff. So payola went into it. It was what it was. But I think they should have capitalized on that. He just got married. Go with it. But they didn't, and they decided to do a remix that took the soul out the record. L.A. Reid shouldn't fucking produce anyway, but that's another story.
That's how you really feel, JR. You got JR personality. Jay, what were you about to say? Jay, you were about to say something?
Yeah, I had that on my list also for the same reasons that JR mentioned. I think for Bobby, he has such a strong image as a soloist that, again, like he was the bad boy R&B. Back then, you couldn't really be married or get married and people know, because then they stop buying your records somehow. You know what I'm saying? Now you can do that shit. You can get married, got a baby, do all this shit, and you won't lose your fan base. Because people, some people listen to music, they think the motherfucker talking to them. You know what I'm saying? And
especially in R&B.
Somebody else.
Especially in R&B. Because, I mean, let's keep it a buck. Luther was gay, but nobody was ever going to come out and say Luther Vandross is gay because, nigga, we know 100% of your fans are women, so we can't say that.
Right.
Well, yeah, I mean it's true, but I mean we just can't say that because then, especially at that time, now you can come out like Vegas said. Now you can come out and say, "Hey, I'm gay." You know what I mean? And it's no big deal. You can do that shit in 1984.
Right.
And still sell records. All right, no doubt. I love these combos, man, because I always want to figure out why shit didn't blow up when it should have blew up. You know what I mean? Next joint I got up is Grand Puba's Dolo album, Real to Real. I know a lot of people who felt like this was a disappointment. I've sat with people who was like, yo, that album's whack. Yo, I was not disappointed by this album in the least. I mean, when What Goes Around came out, I was loving that. Thing Baggy Hill figure on the tap. I mean, this wasn't, to me, Puba in his bag. I mean, the joint Check It Out with Mary J. Blige, was it What's the 411? No, but I liked it over Impeach the President, Big Kids Don't Play, Real to Real. I mean, I like this album. And just for some reason, like I said, I've been with head to it like, nah, bro, that album was whack. That was disappointing. I'm like, wow, never felt that way about that joint to me. And then on the R&B tip, bro, I don't know how I came across this joint, The Vinyl Room by Sleepy Brown. This was an independent album he put out in 97, like sold out the trunk of his car. I swear to you, if you love R&B, you will love this album. This is one of the few things, only two things in life have I ever given a money back guarantee. Paper Soldiers by Kevin Hart. I was like, if you go to fucking Best Buy, Circuit City, and you buy Paper Soldiers, that shit don't make you laugh, I will pay you back whatever the fuck you paid for.
That shit is funny as hell.
Bro, so Paper Soldiers, this is the Kevin Hart I love. I don't like this Kevin Hart always getting beat up, squealing like a little baby running all the time. This is Kevin Hart straight out of Philly. It's the Dame Dash Roc-A-Fella movie. Beans is in it. Or if you don't like Paper Soldiers, I give you my. I told niggas that if you buy this off Amazon, I don't even think you could get it on Amazon anymore. If you bought this off Amazon and you did not like it, I would PayPal you the money back. That's how much this album is. There's not one skip on it.
Somebody put me onto that like 5 years ago. That album,
especially
it might have been you.
Yeah, it probably was. Especially if you like Sleepy Brown. If you like Sleepy Brown, this is a 5-mic album. There's no way you can not like this album. To me, period. But especially if you fuck with Sleepy Brown, this is a 5-mic album. So it's called Sleepy's Theme. So if you're looking for it, it's called The Vinyl Room. It's gonna say by Sleepy's Theme. I don't know why he was going by Sleepy's Theme and not Sleepy Brown, but very, very dope album. Let me not mix shit up no more because I don't want to forget nobody. So I'm gonna start at the bottom because I don't want Eddie and Amir to be waiting all night. Eddie, what you got up next for yours?
I'm gonna do Boogie Monsters, Riders of the Storm album. Yo, like That album never gets mentioned, man, and it was dope. I mean, you had joints like the Honey Dips in Gotham, Bronx Bombers, all that. Like, I don't know what it was. Like, maybe like they just kind of didn't stand out enough or whatnot, man. But as a standalone album, it was dope. Like, played all the way through. You know what I mean? There wasn't really nothing whack on it. You know, maybe not crazy amount of standouts, right? In the era where, you know, like you had to drop hits, but very dope album. That definitely slept on.
What year was that again?
What was it?
93, 94?
93, 94. So that's a tough year. Really tough year.
Yeah, that's that Wu-Tang Tribe, Return of the Boom Bap year right there.
Yep.
You know what I mean? I think that's one thing that I would like to talk about too, is just like how back in those days, how hard shit was to get out your rotation. Like, you just couldn't stop playing Illmatic. Like, you just couldn't stop. You know what I mean? You couldn't stop playing into, you know, the 36, you know, for a new group that nobody had ever heard of either. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I think it's also like the mentality of how, like, I know for me watching TV, because of Netflix and giving you the whole season at once, I don't have the patience to wait a week to see a new episode, you know, to the point now that even when it's a weekly episode, I'll just let all them shits run so I can just binge them like that, because now it's like my mind is trained to binge things. It's not, you know, back in the day, you had to wait every week for the new episode of The Wire to come out. Now it's kind of just like, I feel like my training, and I feel like somehow musically the same has been done to us. Like, we're all from that era. I mean, JP, how long did you fucking, I don't know, play fucking Reasonable Doubt? Like,
shit. Damn.
Like, I still play the shit. Like, I never
still play it. I'm just like,
right,
yeah. I sat. I like to sit with albums, so I mean, it depends on the artist.
And like you said, I think you said it earlier, Kill. Like, there was an album that you mentioned that you were like, well, maybe you didn't play it as much when it came out, but you're playing it a lot more recent or later on. I feel like this was one of those albums, like, you go back and revisit, like, damn, that was really dope. But it's like, when you have so much dope music that comes out, like, it's hard, right? You kind of like latch on to the stuff that's going to stay in rotation, especially like you talk about the Walkman era, right? Throwing stuff in your Walkman, just ride with it, right? You may not take it out, you know what I mean? So stuff like that.
And that's a good point too, Eddie, because I'm thinking back to when 91, I'm a junior in high school, and I get Brand Nubians All for One. I was never that nigga to carry a whole bunch of tapes in my backpack. So whatever was in my Walkman just stayed in my Walkman all day. You know what I mean? So going to school, I'm listening to that. While I'm in school, I'm listening to that. Coming home, I'm listening to that. And if I really liked it that day, it may stay in my Walkman all day. So it's like, even the way we listen to music now, I don't know if we listen to a music on our way to work, while we're at work, coming home from work, because now when we're at work, we're listening to Spotify, we're listening to podcasts, we're listening to, you know, different things have our attention, whereas 20, 25 years ago, all that had your attention was whatever album you had with you at that time. So we just have so much more stuff pulling us away from the music and pulling our attention. Because that's what I was going to say that too about the Walkman. Like, it was just something about, maybe other people did. I didn't have no whole net stack full of tapes. Like, you know what I'm saying? So it was like, you got one, and that's what I'm listening to. Like,
I mean, it wasn't cheap either.
Right, you know, that's another thing. You know what I mean? It's not like I was just walking up to Tower Records like, Jay, like, give me that whole wall in the size 9. Like, nah, nigga. It was like, yo, give me that one pair of sneakers in the size 9.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's totally different now. You just go to iTunes and pay $9.99 a month, and you just listen to everything you want. So that's a great point too, JR. Shit, maybe at that time all I had was Brand Nubians, and that's all I had to listen to. You know what I mean? So you know, you kind of stuck with it.
Right, or like if you let your man dub the Brand Nubian, he might let you dub something else, you know, like that.
Right.
Like a swap. So,
right. Yeah, it's just when you get a whole bunch of money. Man, what you got up next for one of your joints, good brother?
Well, it's funny that you mentioned that, man. But R&B, I'm gonna say Reese.
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 Yeah.
Reese.
Man, bro.
And for like another rap album, I'm gonna say OC.
Which one, Joel's?
Nah, well, I don't know the name.
Oh, why I say Joel's? I'm bugging. Thank you. Word Life. Word Life, his debut album. Yeah. Because people always talk about Time's Up, but they really don't talk about the whole album as a whole.
Yeah.
You know, Born to Live was my shit. Like, I mean, the whole album, you know, Welcome to the Ozone, like, you know, but you're right. People love Time's Up, but then don't nobody talk about the whole album as a whole. So,
Ozone's that shit. Love that Ozone.
Yeah. Ozone.
And that album, I love that album.
God.
That album. I can't even really describe what genre that is.
Which album you said?
Reese.
Oh, Reese. Yeah, I don't know if that's. I don't know, man. It didn't fall in the neo soul category or nothing.
Like you could put something in there, but then she had like a punkish rockish feel.
Yeah.
And then all that, like, oh, that man. Oh.
I remember, man, the day that dropped, it dropped the same day as Alicia Keys' debut album, and I remember copping them both because my OG Roots did 2 joints on Reese's album. So when he told me that, I was like, all right, I definitely got to support this shorty. I ended up playing the Reese album more than I ended up playing the Alicia Keys album. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Because, you know, and out the crib. So it's definitely dope. JR, I don't want to forget you. Hold on. Grab, you on with us?
Yeah. Yo, what up, y'all?
What up, Grab?
I'm en route to Philly with my wife, but I'm here. Yo, big up Yentz, big up JP, long time, Sakwase.
What up?
Vegas, what it do, Vegas? Salute, Rel, once again, JR, once again. Little bro Amir, love you, little bro Amir, my brother Amir.
What's good?
Eddie,
yes,
LGM all day, Eddie, LGM all day. You know what I mean? But my first joint is De La Soul is Dead by De La Soul. I don't see that. I mean, I'm not a social media guy like all day, every day with it, but I don't see a lot of talk about that on social media or on Twitter. You know what I mean? I don't see a lot of people talk that album. That's very cohesive.
I see 3 feet high, the stakes is high, a lot more. Even a Grind Day. I see the Grind Day you talked about when De La's Dead. And De La's Dead is actually my favorite De La album.
Yes.
Me too.
Yes. Very cohesive, very well put together. You know what I mean? Was that Drez's debut on that album as well?
I think so.
Baseball?
Yeah, I think
so. Yeah. Biddy's in the BK Lounge, really pulled the pistol on Santa Claus.
Yeah, so they had themes on there. They had a lot going on there. So yeah, that was my first pick.
All right, well, give me like 2 more, Grab, since you just getting on. Give me like 2 more joints you got.
Okay. My next one is the LP by Large Professor.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, that's not a really talked about album. That album is very dope. And, you know, just a cool album to listen to. It's not like a smacking album like it's gonna, you know, platinum gold, blah blah blah. It's like an album for the listener, an album for music appreciators. You know what I mean? Where you can say, "Damn, that sample you flipped is dope." And yo, you know, I love Large Professor, man. It's my brother. So that's the one. And then I'm gonna go with a soundtrack, man. My third one is the Menace to Society soundtrack. I believe that doesn't, you know, that soundtrack was amazing. You know what I mean? That's amazing right there, because that's 90. 90. Yeah, that soundtrack was amazing. Like you had Brand Nubian on there, you had Pete CL on there, then you had West Coast, MC8, Spice One. You know what I mean? It was a nice mix of East Coast and West Coast artists on there. And the songs that were on there were crazy. You know what I mean? That Brand Nubian joint is like legendary. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that lick them joint, yeah.
Yeah, it's like a you know, like Sheafy MCs type song, like one of those rare joints that you don't hear a lot, and then, you know, when you hear it, it's like, damn, that joint was crazy. You know what I mean? So yeah, that was my third one, the Menace to Society soundtrack. And
I got no doubt.
I got like 2 more.
All right, no doubt. Good looking out, Greg. We get back with you. JR, what's up for your next joint, good brother?
I was gonna say any album from Mid Condition, actually. I don't think people talk about their albums like that. Like, I think everybody is so focused on these singles to me. But I mean, the first album is, yeah. But, I mean, that second one from the Mint Factory, I don't think a lot of people even discuss that to me. You know what I mean? I think the only thing that people discuss on that album is You Sent Me Swinging and, what is it? So Fine and the remix. That's it. Like, other than that, I'm like, yo, y'all don't talk about Someone to Love. Nobody does it better. 10 Million Strong. Like, you know what I'm saying? Back to Loving. Like, that album is amazing. And then, you know, people don't even talk about Definition of a Band and Life's Aquarium. Like,
yo, Life's Aquarium is my shit.
That is my second favorite from them, bro. Oh,
Life's
my
Aquarium
God.
was crazy, man.
Yes, with, like, you know what I mean? So I think Mid Condition don't get that. They just get the singles and the ballads, and that's it. And that's all people talk about. So I was going to say basically Mid Condition from 93 to like maybe 2007. Nobody talks about their albums like that. So
yeah. I got to pull out this Life's Aquarium. I forgot about Pretty Lady with Charlie Wilson.
Yes.
Love Me, Pain of Pleasure.
Yeah.
Be Like That sometimes. Very, very, very slept on album. Bro, what you got up next, good brother?
So it's another, you know, MC. I remember when he came out, I was like, yo, he's dope. I got the album. The album was dope, but like really didn't, I don't know. And that's Curious. I don't know if y'all remember Curious with a K.
Curious George.
Curious.
Yeah.
Curious. Come on,
Constipated Monkey. That album was fire. The song I'm Curious is one of my favorites of all time. He had the Uptown shit, Walk Like a Duck. I mean, it was fire on that album. It's just one of them. It's again just like an album that, you know, people don't bring up, but during that time, it's just so much dope shit coming out. Like, stuff just be getting forgotten about. You know what I'm saying? And I don't know. I saw one of the videos and it kind of just resonated with me, and I was like, yo, I'm gonna get that at the time, probably that tape video or whatever. And but yeah, it was dope, man. Curious was fire. And
bro,
you know, nobody really
this time, bro, anything produced by the Beat Nuts, I was grabbing. And Uptown shit was the Beat Nuts. So it literally was that simple. If the Beat Nuts did it, I'm buying the shit. Funny thing, man.
Yacht used to be the shit too,
man. Mansion in the Yacht with Mike G. What I loved about Mansion in the Yacht was that you pull Mike G from the Jungle Brothers, and that's not your average feature artist. You know, I don't know if Mike G has ever been featured on anything that wasn't a Jungle Brother or a Nate Son thing. So I just love that pull from it. And here, crazy thing, Bobito Garcia was executive producer on this album. You know what I mean? Which is crazy, you know, but him and Bob was cool or whatever like that. So this is definitely good. Got an R&B joint, or you just hip hop?
I'm just hip hop.
All right, no doubt. Vic, what you got up next, bro?
I'm gonna go hip hop on this one. It maybe people bring it up. I don't think I see it as much. Maybe we've heard some stuff recently. But Lords of the Underground first album, Here Come the Lords, out of 1993. Chief Roc-A, you know what I'm saying? It's probably the one people remember the most, but they had a couple of joints on there.
Oh yeah.
Like,
yeah.
That album was incredibly dope. And I don't know, it's like I don't always hear people talk about them or the album, to be honest. Or bring it up, you know, even on a slept on list. So let me see if I can pull it up real quick.
You know, the crazy thing about the chord was
right? What you say?
No, I'm saying the funny thing again with music is just taking back. That's my freshman year at Morgan. I swear they beat the test almost damn near every party had fucking Funky Child. Either Funky Child was getting played. You know, what was the single you just said?
Chief Roc-A.
Chief Roc-A. I can't remember. Yeah, that was crazy. K from Marley Marl in their bag right there, man. Yep. That was a very, very dope album, man.
Always like Mr. Funky. Mr. Funky is dope ass MC. I like him.
And I want to say he's like now like something in Newark. He's like a councilman or something in Newark.
That's
do it
all.
Do it all. All right, do it all is not Mr. Funky. All right, no doubt. All right, Vay, you got another R&B joint, or you just hip hop for that?
Well, no, I had the Bobby Brown.
Oh, the Bobby Brown like JR did. Okay, all right. JP, what you got up next, good brother?
I mean, I don't know if this is talk. Maybe it is, I guess, amongst their fans or whatever. But when I hear conversations of like Illmatic and Wu-Tang and all the different albums, I don't. But this maybe it's a personal favorite of mine. But Organized Confusion, Stress. The
Hell yeah, Stress. Yeah, man. Like, right.
Yo, man. Certain albums, like, man, it's just a feeling. Like that album to me, man, it was like it was so well produced, and I feel like there's not like standout singles besides the ones that came, but it was just a well produced hip hop album, hard beats, niggas that's lyrical, like it gives you what you need, and they got charisma with it. You know what I'm saying? Yep. They're just not bar heavy. They got charisma as well. So you know what I'm saying? Yeah. So that. And I love them too, man. Prince Paul, especially Pharoah, but
people. You want to talk about slept on? Prince Poe, man. Prince Poe. Damn right. It's Monch
right there with Pharoah. Yeah.
Monch gets all the shine, deservedly, but Prince Poe is damn sure dope.
Right.
And let me ask a question. Go ahead, Ed. I'll wait.
Well, I was going to say the funny thing is because I kind of felt like on the first joint, it was really like I felt like Prince Poe was more in the forefront, and like Pharoah was playing the background a little bit, and then on the Stress album, like Pharoah just completely broke out, man, and became.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think that's a good.
That's good.
Here's a question: can you have a group can you have two people and they both achieve a high level of success? This conversation started, and y'all may not know, when Naomi was growing up, she loved this dance show. I fucking can't pump it up, shake it up. I don't know. But you had Zendaya, and you had this other white chick. Now, of course, we know Zendaya is Zendaya. Like, everybody fucking knows who Zendaya is. The white chick, she's acting, but it's like, B movies, a movie. She ain't a fucking Spider-Man. She ain't Zendaya. I can tell you. You know what I'm saying? Then we was watching Key and Peele the other night, and they was like, "Yo, is that the dude who does the Get Out and all the big movies?" I was like, "Yeah, this nigga Jordan Peele's the man." She was like, "What happened to the other nigga?" I'm like, "Oh, he's kind of around. He does some stuff here, nigga." You know what I mean? He's been in a lot of movies, but he's not Jordan Peele. I can tell you that. So I'm just like wondering. We look at Outkast, Big Boy done dropped like 3 incredible solo albums, and all niggas want to talk about is 3,000. This nigga is dropping shit, yet we still talk about him. So at the end of the day, have you ever seen anything, movies, R&B, any goddamn thing with two people coming together? Like, think about Keenan and Kel. Me and they was watching Keenan and Kel the other day. Keenan is fucking on Saturday Night Live. Kel is like Kel, you know what I mean? So it's kind of like the two people come in together as a duo, and both of them achieve the same level of success. Because I'm with you on Prince Poe. When Organized first came out, I was like, yo, these are two incredible MCs. They're just both off the wall crazy, but I don't know if it's just Pharoah has more of the bravado, or if he has more personality. I don't know what it is. So have y'all ever in any situation seen two people come together and both people achieve a high level of success? You got Jay-Z, you got Dame. You got, is there any time that there have been two people who just both blew up and both are at the top of their respective games?
I think it's hard to say because sometimes it's opportunity, right? In some cases, right? The other person could be just as dope, but they don't have the same opportunities. And it may not be based on talent. It may be based on management, right? Like,
how was your job?
Your management is better than their management.
Yeah.
I think it's hard to achieve the same thing, to achieve the same success if you kind of do the same thing. You know what I'm saying? Then it's kind of like you just pick your poison. Well, who do you like better? Okay, well, shit, I like Method Man. So Method Man is going to stick out as the star. Maybe Wu-Tang is the only group to ever do that because I think Ghostface is as big as Method Man, right?
Right.
What about Mob
maybe
Deep?
there are others who didn't blow off because you can't have 14 niggas all blow
Right,
off.
but I mean like two people, like how Jay and Dame did Roc-A-Fella, or Key and Peele came in together, or Outkast with two people like L.A. Reid and Babyface. Like you still hear Babyface, like L.A. Reid you don't hear anything about, or you know what I mean? Maybe Def Jam, maybe Rick Rubin and Russell Simmons. Maybe because Russell, before Russell lost his goddamn mind, he had Fat Farm and was doing his thing, and Rick was doing his thing with Def America. So maybe Rick and Russell.
Now the question: do they have to have split, or could they?
I mean, to some extent, they had to split to do different things. So Key and Peele, they both start off as a comedic act together. Jordan Peele isn't even in these movies. He's just now a writer and a director, so he's not even in the limelight anymore. He hasn't starred in anything. But we all know Jordan Peele. But the other nigga is kind of like Key, he's around. He does some shit, but he's not.
He's around.
Jordan fucking Peele, and that's no good.
He's doing a lot of TV. He's doing a lot of TV, but he ain't like that.
I'm not throwing shots. Again,
we know you not, but it seemed like it.
No, I'm not throwing shots. It's a fact. Here's the thing. Big Boy, to me, has two incredible solo albums and a very good third solo album. Nobody talks about him. 3000 ain't got nothing solo. He done told you I ain't never making music no more. But we still talk, people still talk about 3000 more than they talk about Big Boy.
Yeah. Big Boy got an owl, and 3 Stacks got a flute. So that's it.
I mean, yes, that's the prime example. I'll hear more about, we had a spotting of Outkast of 3000 playing a flute in fucking Little 5 Points. That will get more media coverage than the whole Big Boy album. This thing was just playing a flute in a goddamn airport. And
why do you think that is? Why do you think that is, Kill?
He know.
I know why.
Why do you think it is? Come on.
He know why.
I mean, 3 Stacks resonate more with people. He does.
But here's the wild part. Here's the wild part, JP. Why? Because here's the thing. If you told me when I lived in Atlanta in 97 and somebody said, Kill, you want to hang out with Big Boy or fucking Andre 3000? I'm fucking hanging out with Big Boy. I'm not fucking hanging out with 3000. We may be at a llama farm. We may be fucking eggs up. I don't know what the fuck 3000 had me doing. So, to be honest with you, I know a lot of people, Outkast fans, who stopped fucking with Outkast because of 3000. They will call me like, yo, Kill, this your man on the goddamn late night show with a pink wig on and fucking football pads on. Like, what's wrong with your man? Like, he even talked about that on Return of the Gangster. Like, what's up with Andre? Is he in a cult when y'all on breakup? Like, that's the crazy part about it. Why do we gravitate towards Andre? Because he's not really the average dude. Like, to me, if you love Andre so much, I get help from people for liking Lenny Kravitz. They be like, yo, you like that weirdo? I'm like, motherfucker, you like Andre 3000? Like I don't expect the average black person to gravitate to Lenny Kravitz because he's really not the average black person.
I think the double album did it. I think the double album is.
But that's the thing. I know most dudes that I know, most niggas did not like Hate. If they did, they didn't admit to it. I never went back around my way in Philly and niggas was like blasting Hey on the block.
Nah, but
but again, that's why
they like who he is. They like the Love Below on the low. They probably ain't tell you, but they like it. Right.
So that's why I'm really confused. Like, that's why I'm telling JP, I'm really confused at why more people do gravitate to 3000.
And then it's accessibility. Like, he was getting on these features and killing them. So it made you want to hear him more. You know what I'm saying? Like, he was on these features and going crazy, and like Big Boy wasn't necessarily on these features, even though he's dope. Like, Andre was getting on these features and killing it, and it was like, yo, we want to hear more of that. You know what I mean?
It's just one of them things you really can't explain. He got that it factor with Pete. Like, that's what. Like, that's how I didn't realize you didn't. I didn't realize you was really serious. Like, you.
No, I was dead ass. Like, no, I'm not fucking. Like, I'm dead ass. Like, I don't know why.
Like, yo, some people just got it, and it resonates. I mean, like, you can't like. I'm not gonna give you an answer. Be like, this is why. Here are the 5 my 5 bullet points. I can't do it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It's just a thing.
Although, going back to the original question, I think I got one.
Who you got, Eddie?
I got Dr. Dre and Ice Cube.
Well, but that's from a group. That's from a group. We was talking about duos, like two people. That was the whole NWA. But that is a good point. That is a good point that Dre and Cube both went on to do different things. Cube blew up with the pen game and doing movies and stuff, and Dre blew up with the music and the headphones and everything. So that is a good point. But somebody brought up like Havoc and Prodigy. Like I think more people like. Well, I don't know. It was just blunt to me that. Again, Prince Poe is one of the dopest, but and it just made me think like, damn, has there ever just been a time when two people just were at the top of their games respectively? Like if Jay kept rapping and maybe Dame went on to be an amazing executive. Like you don't even have to be both rappers or both producers like that. You could just went on and Prodigy and Mom made a great point. P is a great lyricist. Havoc was a great producer. You know what I mean? And they just went on to enjoy that. But it always just seems like one is always ahead of the other. Like Naomi was like, well, Daddy, maybe you a competitive nigga. Like, maybe Key doesn't mind not being in the limelight like that. I'm like, cool. You're right. Maybe he doesn't. But I don't know if you've ever watched this podcast. It's with Dante Ross. And he was talking about like when leaders broke up. And he was saying like, no, there is a competition. When these groups were breaking up, it's like, I want to be better than you. When Brand Nubians broke up, he talked about who want to be better than Sadat. Sadat and Jamal have the chip on their shoulder like, oh, y'all ain't going to be shit without Pooh-Bah. So there was this braggadocious, like, I want to be better. Shit, isn't that hip hop? I want to be better than you. Like that's the braggadocious that comes with it. And it's just dope. If y'all never seen the podcast, watch it on YouTube. But Dante Ross breaks a lot of them breakups, and it was just like, wow, like I always thought that, but it's crazy to hear like that. He was like, yo, Sadat and Jamal had a huge chip on their shoulder because nobody thought they was gonna be dope without Pooh-Bah. You know what I mean? So there was a huge chip on their shoulder, like, nah, fuck that. We don't need, we good type thing. But okay, I digress. I don't even know who was next. Where did I leave off with? Who brought up Organized? It was.
I brought up Organized.
All right, J-Pat. All right. And now, Yens, you at the bottom. Something fucked up, Yens. See, you done jumped out of order. Now I don't know where the fuck I'm going on. All right, Yens, say some shit. Whoever didn't go, just go, because now I'm all fucked up in the order. So, JT at the bottom.
It's on you. It's on you.
Cheers. I think it's on me. All right, I'm gonna go with Master Ace. Take a look around. This came out in '90. I know a lot of diehard heads. Shit, my brother Ev was like, I've never heard that album. Like, I know a lot of hip hop heads who have never even heard this album. When I heard Me in the Biz, I just loved it from the door. I was like, yo, this shit is so dope. And I copped this album. Now I'm like, yo, it's all produced by Marley Marl. Like, this is a 1990 Marley Marl produced album. That's dope. I mean, I got to Let It to the Better, Me in the Biz, Other Side. It's kind of like, I really don't have any skips on his whole album. He's got this joint called 4-3 where he's rhyming over the symphony beat, just dolo, and it's the whole concept of the 4 MCs minus 3, so it's just him, and he kills the symphony beat dolo. So very dope album with this. On the R&B side, I'm gonna go with this group that a lot of people never ever talk about, and that's Player, with their album Cheers to You from 1998. The lead single, Cheers to You. This is Timbo. This is 98 Timbo. So this is like Aaliyah, 1 in a Million, Genuine, Pony, Timbaland. So if you like that Timbaland style, yeah. Will you say that? I mean, Grass.
Static Major on that. Isn't Static Major?
Static Major, who passed away. His pen is on this. That was his group. So if you like that Genuine, 1 in a Million Timbaland, this album's for you. Cheers for you. They had this joint called I-65. All the way. The single was Don't Stop the Music. Very, very dope album that, again, nobody talks about, which is bugging me because I probably like this album more than I like the 1 in a Million album and the Genuine album, truth be told.
Really?
I know I see by the tone in JR's face, he doesn't agree with me, but that's cool.
No, that's not true.
He said
the
tone in JR's face.
Yo, you can look at somebody's face. It's like, the tone in your face, bro. Like I see it.
With this tone.
The tone is in your face. Wow,
okay.
Yeah, but I love the album.
You like, because are you talking about 100% Genuine? Or are you talking about the Bachelor Genuine?
The Bachelor Genuine.
Okay, all right. Well,
and I like the Bachelor Genuine. Keep in mind, I'm not saying I don't like those things. Because again, we know once this gets on Twitter, I say I like pancakes. Then somebody like, so what? You don't like waffles? I didn't say I don't like waffles. I just like pancakes better than waffles. I'm not saying I don't like waffles. But yeah, like I really very dope album. I'm gonna start at the Grant. Give me another one, good brother.
Yes, I have an R&B one. And you already know, JR, what it is. Loose Ends, Look How Long.
You better.
Yo, that album was very, influential to me. Just the melding of how he melded hip hop sounds with R&B was very dope on that album. He did a very good job of that. What's the song? My favorite song on there, two of my favorites is Love Controversy Part 1.
Yes, sir.
And Don't You Ever Try to Change.
Yeah.
Very smooth album. Sometimes the drums hit hard, you know what I mean? He used certain drums more than once. Mm-hmm. But, still in all, it still came off as dope. I love that album. That's one of my favorites. Look How Long.
Look How Long.
A lot. I believe it's in 90. Am I correct, JR?
Yeah, it came out in 90, because the single was Don't Be a Fool.
Yes. So it was 1990 when it actually came out. So yeah, that's one of my faves right there.
All right, no doubt. JR, what you got up next, bro?
I was gonna say the Blackstreet debut. A lot of people always go to another level. They don't talk about this debut because Dave Hollister came in singing, you know what I'm saying? And just, oh my God, like he came in singing and they had to kind of redo the album because the other dude left. So Dave had to come in because when he came in with Baby Be Mine, like the way he came in on that joint, oh my God. You got what? You Blow My Mind, of course, Joy.
You talking this joint, level, right?
No. The debut.
Oh, the debut.
Everybody talk about Another Level because No Diggity's on there. So everybody.
This joint.
Yes, sir.
Yes. Yo, bro, let me tell you how dope this album was. My man Kennard picked me up one night playing this shit, and I'm like, nigga, are we listening to slow music? He was like, yo, you gotta hear this song before I let you go. And I was, we just two niggas riding around listening to slow music. That's how dope this album was. That I'm like, nigga, we really driving around on a Saturday listening to fucking Before I Let You Go, and like I was like, yo, this shit is dope. You're right, JR. Very dope album, man.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, very dope album, man. Damn, I gotta listen to this joint tonight, man. Eddie, what you got up next, good brother?
Yo, I got the Flip Mode album, the Imperial, man. In my opinion, might be up there with the dopest Put On Your Crew albums, like, because
is Cha 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 on that joint?
Cha Cha Cha's on there. Cha Cha Cha, Run for I Got Your Back, Everybody on the Line Outside, Straight Spittin', the Rod Digger joint. Yo, let me tell you, Rod Digger killed this album, man.
What don't Rod Digger kill?
And the thing is, you know what I mean? And then you had Rampage and what's the dude's name? Lord have mercy. But re-listening to this album, I was thinking, damn, that dude Baby Sham, like maybe he should have had next because he was kind of dope on this album too. You know what I mean? Like, but this joint went hard, yo. Like I'm saying, like a lot of these albums where like big name artists are trying to put on their crew, like tends to disappoint a lot of times. But this was not one of them.
Yeah, that joint and Cha Cha Cha, man. I can't tell you how many times I was set off Strictly Hip Hop playing Cha Cha Cha, man. That joint was just like an anthem to me up there. Amir, what you got up next, good brother?
Well, I'm gonna go with Soldier Missive. I don't really think that first album, that single gets a lot of respect, but the album itself, I think, to me, in my opinion, should get more respect. and this may make some people upset, man. But I was watching I can't really call it an unsung, but a PM Dawn, bro. The kind of like, as much as they may have got criticized for their sound, they was really ahead of their time, bro, on so many different levels. Like, because what they were doing then is now today's standard with auto-tune on it primarily. Like, they were one of the first groups to do a lot of fusion music and borrow and kind of stretch the limits of hip hop. And I always thought they made some fly shit, like PM Dawn on some real shit. Excellent niggas to sample, matter of fact, because some of the shit they were doing was so fly. It was just, to me, when I saw the documentary on them, it kind of I didn't know half of that stuff, so I kind of went back and I'm like, oh, this is kind of crazy. And you can see the DNA of what they do, or what they did in a lot of commercially successful hip hop records. The formulaic approach they kind of had. So I do think they get a bad rap, but as far as innovation and pushing like that threshold of creativity between hip hop and R&B, PM Dawn definitely got overlooked a lot because we know what happened to them. I saw what happened on stage. That was crazy. That shit wouldn't happen to me. Yeah, that's words of my mother. They wouldn't have did me like that.
That was KRS who threw him off the stage.
Man, Grab, like I know that would have not went. Nah, they're not doing me like that.
Nah, it would have been too deep for that nonsense.
I think the thing with PM Dawn with me, at least, I never liked the single. It was like some Daisy Kids type shit for me. Now I did fuck with they joint off the Boomerang soundtrack. Their slow jam, whatever that was, off the Boomerang soundtrack. Yeah, now that. So again, like I always tell niggas on Twitter, I can't speak intelligently on them because I never heard the album. So I can't say PM Dawn is dope or not because I honestly didn't give them a try. So, but that joint off the Boomerang soundtrack, that was official. That was official.
Even if I'm not talking about their album being
just them being ahead of their time.
Yeah, and the innovation they had, like, because a lot of that shit they was doing is being done right now to the team to keep it a buck.
And that first single that you don't like was kind of sampled from a 80s pop song that later on got sampled by a million people. You know what I'm saying? They were kind of like the first one to take that sound, even though some people didn't like it. But that song, I remember that song.
Spandau Ballet.
That's the name. True. Yeah. And they took that song and that's what they sampled for that first single, and then so many people sampled that after them. You know what I'm saying? From R&B to hip hop. So they were ahead of their time. You know what I'm saying?
The sad part to me with life, music, all things is it's all about timing. I never forget watching the Don't Curse video and seeing Big Daddy Kane like, yo, what the fuck is this nigga wearing? Like, why this nigga have on a silk fucking shirt with a bottle of champagne? This nigga looks whack. And then you fast forward 5 years and it's Jay-Z with a silk shirt and a bottle of champagne, and nobody said nothing. And I know Kane was like, yo, what the fuck? I did that. Like, yo, that was me. Like, and nobody wants to hear that shit. So that's the sad part about it. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's all about timing. The thing I want to say about the 93 to Infinity joint, because I know somebody watches like, yo, I hear that shit all the time. No, you hear people talk about the song all the time. I rarely hear anybody talk about the whole entire album. Here's the funny thing. I'll be like, yo, man, I always be like, yo, that's when you lost, like Souls of Mischief. The niggas be like, yo, what song is that? I'm like, nigga, that was the first single. Like, that one came out before 93 to Infinity did. So that just lets me know you never even heard the album. If you don't even know what I'm talking about when I say that's when you lost, you know what I mean? So the album doesn't get talked about. The song gets talked about from 93 till Infinity, but not the whole album to me. Hey, what you got up next for your last joint?
Oh shit, we on our last joint.
Oh, I don't even know. I kind of ran. I thought I did 5, so I don't know. We may not be on the last joint.
I got 2 more for both hip hop and R&B. R&B joint. I don't know what I'm not in R&B groups and shit on social media. But Eric Benet's Day in the Life album from 1999.
That's the one with Georgie Porgy?
Yep.
Fire.
That
Fire.
is crazy, man.
Fire.
Georgie Porgy's on there. Spend My Life With You is on there.
Fire.
You got another joint, Come As You Are. That's dope.
This, oh my God. Hey, Come As You Are.
Dust in the Wind. What?
Come As You Are, bro. What's the last joint? Love of My Own? Man, this shit right.
That album's crazy. I don't see it a lot, you know, because there's a lot of music that comes out, and you know, again, you forget.
I've never heard anybody talk about this album, to be honest with you. Like,
really?
anybody.
Talk about Eric Benet. That's what it is.
Yeah, that's true.
And here's the thing: for me to like this no shoe wearing nigga, this has got to be a dope ass album. Like, because I was never an Eric Benet fan like that. You know what I mean? Here's the thing: I don't know if y'all watch it. Tank has a dope podcast on YouTube, but Eric Benet was on there, and he kind of talked about some things. He didn't dig into as much stuff as I wanted, like with the music, but dope interview. But this album, crazy,
Yeah, man.
crazy.
On the hip hop side, I have Onyx's third album, Shut 'Em Down, from '98.
Okay.
We always talk about, you know, groups and artists that had like 3 or 4 albums straight. That was crazy. Onyx is definitely one of those groups because, you know, this is '98. We done had a whole bunch of things, new cats, all kind of sound done changed, shiny suits, everything. And somehow I remember like looking at Onyx's first single and like, oh, Onyx still out. You know what I'm saying? Like, they still around. And hearing the joints on here, like Shut 'Em Down with DMX on it, I was like, damn, that song's kind of hot. And what I liked about it was the fact that their style just translated from these different eras, because we know them mostly from ball heads and throw your guns in the air. That's and slam. That's what people think about. And we know a lot of people always bring up that second album as slept on. As a matter of fact, they bring it up so much is the shit even slept on because you keep talking about it. But I rarely hear people talk about the third album. And I think Sticky's brother was added to the group and he fit, which was dope. So yeah, it's a really slept on album. I think his brother was named X1. Yeah, that was his brother. It's a lot of songs on here, a couple of features or whatever. Nori's on here. Who else is on here? DMX is on here. Lost Boys is on here. It's a couple. Killer Sin, Method Man's on here. It's a dope joint, but I think just the timing of when it came out, because now it's transitioning. Well, not transitioning, but Rough Riders is, you know, becoming large in the game as a label. DMX, who they had on here. This is '98, so there's Pun also. So there was a lot of other shit happening, and people weren't thinking about Onyx. That was old, but this album's crazy. I think if people went back and listened to it, they'd be surprised at how dope it was.
All right, dope. Bro, what you got?
Before I say mine, I wanted to talk about Master Ace real quick, because like I know for me in the '90s, I could have named 3 Master Ace albums on this list, on this subject. The one you named, I like Slaughterhouse, and I like Sitting on Chrome. And I like Sitting on Chrome, and you know, Sitting on Chrome was like a totally different style of, you know what I'm saying, music, and I think he just executed it well. He's like one of the most underrated artists ever in hip hop to me, you know what I'm saying. So I want to say that about Master Ace. But I'm gonna go with Crew, the Dirty 30.
Yes.
That was fire, man. It was like a one-off. Like, what happened to that, man? Like, that was fire, man. That Pronto joint.
Oh, my shit was Pronto, yo.
Pronto.
When that beat drops, bro. When that beat drops, that shit is crazy. And that album has some fire on Just Another Case.
Just another case for that sample's crazy.
Yeah, everything. That nigga Yogi was a producer. He went on to produce with Puff in the next round of the Hitman. But Yogi's a dope producer, man.
Yeah, so I'm gonna go with that one. Crew, the Dirty 30. I remember when I heard, I said, yo, this is fire. You know what I'm saying?
The only knock on that album is they got like 82 songs on that album. Like, they could have shaved off.
It's actually 30 joints.
35. They could have had 35 songs instead of 87. that album could have been a lot more cohesive. But yeah, that joint was crazy.
It was an idea I guess they were trying to do, but
right.
But it's some quality music in the album, man. For real.
Yeah,
and it don't really get talked about. It probably will get talked about with us, but like for the masses, it doesn't. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. JP, what you got?
I'm gonna go with this joint came out in '98. See, I don't know if how high it's ranked among his projects or whatever, but for me, I feel like it's not talked about enough when we talk about great albums, and I'm going with Soul Survivor by Pete Rock. So
shit.
That album to me, like,
me.
When it came out, man, I remember like I was studying it. You know what I'm saying? Just like reading the back and all that. I mean, I remember when True Master dropped. I thought that beat was insane to me. I thought that shit was just so crazy. And Corrupt killed it, and Inspector Deck. Like it was just crazy. And I mean, joints like what's the Take Your Time joint, and the joint with Video Mojica. Like yo, it's just such great music on that joint, man. I mean, he got the joint with he did the Truly Yours '98.
G-Rap.
It's a lot of great joints on the album, man.
The joint on there with Thought was crazy. The joint Grap is on here. The joint Grap produced for Meth.
Yeah, man.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's the younger soul brother on that joint. What's that shit called? How am I forget? My brain is dead.
Half Man, Half Amazing.
Half Amazing. Yeah, like
right.
That's crazy. That's crazy. That's crazy. And I love making sure Grap gets his props because it says it in the liner notes, but you know a lot of people don't read the liner notes.
Can I tell the quick story about the liner notes?
Tell the story, good brother.
Listen, I was with Pete. We went to Loud Records, right? And literally, we in there. They're doing his artwork. Literally, I look over the dude's shoulder. He is doing the credits for Half Man, Half Amazing. I'm like, I said, yo, nah, hold up. Switch that, yo. I said, I produced that joint. Yo, produced by Grap Lover, co-produced by Pete Rock. He's like, what? I said, yeah, I did the bulk of that track. He's like, what? He's like, yeah. So he switched it. And then when Pete saw it, he was like, oh, okay, all right. I was like, yeah, dude, come on. He's like, yeah, you right. He laughed about it or whatever. But yeah, that's how I literally, because it didn't say that. It said produced by Pete Rock. And I want to say, I don't even know if my name was on it. I don't know if my name was on it at the time. But I literally walked in on them doing the artwork and dealing with that side of that part of the artwork where they were doing the credits on the actual what you see on the back cover of the CD and the album and all of that. They were doing that. The dude Olu Dara, his name is Olu Dara. He was doing the art direction for that. Him and his cat Maurice, and I told him, I was like, yo, and he's like, word? I was like, yeah, yo. And I was like, yo, do it like this. And then he was like, all right, bet. So that's how that went down.
So, True Hip Hop Stories on Apartment 5B with Grap Love, the youngest soul brother. You know what I mean? JP, did you have an R&B joint too? Or you just had
I got a question real quick. I got a question for you and Grap, like producer wise, like for that Pete album, like he combined so many like different artists that you probably wouldn't hear on songs with each other. Like, you know what I'm saying? How difficult is that to like, you know what I mean? You got a song with Big Pun, Nori, and Common. You know what I'm saying? You got Tragedy Gaddafi with Sticky Fink. Like, you know what I'm saying? It was just so many different artists. Like how difficult is that? You know
I don't think it's difficult if it's the dope ass Pete. Like, and I think that's the thing. Like with Pete, one of the things that, and that point that you brought up to me is why Soul Survivor is so crazy to me is because, nigga, half these people wouldn't even sound like, you look at it and it's like, this don't even sound like it would fit. You know what I mean? But to me, it's like, if the beat is crazy, people sleep on 80 Block from Tiffany's Part 2, Pete and Camp Lowe's album, and they have a song. Camp Lowe has a song with fucking Uncle Murder, okay? And it sounds perfect. Camp Lowe has a song with MOP, and it sounds flawless. So to me, it's kind of just like, yo, if the beat is dope enough, I don't think anybody really it'll kind of be like, oh, that beat didn't fit right or this or that. But I think as long as there's no way in that Camp Low. The crazy thing is the beat is more MOP than Camp Low. If you listen to A Block from Tiffany's, that beat is much more MOP style than a Camp Low type beat. But Camp Low kills it. You know what I mean? So, I mean, for me personally, Grab, I don't know about you. I just think as long as the beat is dope, like, yo, it don't even matter, like, who you throw on with it. You know what I mean? As long as the beat is crazy. Now, if they were trying to do some EPMD, like I say a verse, you say a verse, that may be a little bit harder, you know what I mean? Because you want that synergy. But I think if it's just like JP used to rap, if JP came through my crib at Morgan, and Vegas was at my crib, and somebody else was at my crib, we could do a posse cut right there, because that's essentially what it is. You know what I mean? Just a posse cut. So what are you gonna say, Meg?
No, I was gonna say, yeah, the beat has to be dope, obviously, but also I think sometimes the beat sets the tone for how each MC is gonna approach it. And I think that sometimes that plays a role, because I've been in situations numerous times, especially in the past, where, you know, everybody on the track got the memo except for the one person at the end.
Except for Foxy. Foxy didn't get the memo on King's Disease 2 on what the song was about.
Right. It's like this. It's like, okay, it was perfect. You know, Mega, everybody was perfect, but then you just 96 this shit with all that technical stuff. They grown.
That's a deep one, because if you ain't
we niggas talking about loving their wives and their families, and they come to Fox like, yo, the El-Nana, like, yo, I'm here. Like, Meg says she 96 that shit. We got moist niggas and 96 that shit, bro. If you don't make some shirts tonight, bro, I don't know what's popping.
Yo, you gotta just listen to Vague podcast, yo. You be coming 96 up with birds, yo.
She 96 that shit. Nah, yeah, but I think that's it. But yeah, JP, Soul Survivor, man. That, to me, that's my favorite produced album. You know what I mean? For years it was Marley's In Control, but that Soul Survivor 1, and don't get me started on 2 or New York's Finest. Like, I love all them shits, you know what I mean? But yeah, that Soul Survivor 1 was crazy. You got any R&B joints, J Pass, for this one? Or you?
No, I'm R&B out right now.
All right, yes. What you got?
All right, I'm gonna go with joined by the brand new Heavies, the Heavy Rhyme Experience. With they played a lot.
You really just snatched that. You just cut me, man.
Yes. Hey, yes,
I had that too.
That's a good one.
Very good one, man. Very good one. Yes.
I had no idea, but yeah, this
all good, bro.
This was real dope, man. This, you know, every track on there is really, really cool. Like, just the vibe of the album, period, is just really cool. I would say standouts, of course, the Pooh-Bah. You already mentioned his album. Well, he got the same joint on that album, Who Makes the Loot. That's one of the standout joints on that Pooh-Bah, man. That's just perfect quintessential Pooh-Bah from that time. Like, that's him in a capsule right there. Just straight up, just greatness from Pooh-Bah.
And then I still use that line to use. If the show ain't for dough, then you won't see the bro. The grand man just as usual. So let me slow down, because I know I'm confusing y'all. Like, bro,
that shit is dope, man. It's everything they got. Even the reggae. You know, they got dance hall legend Tiger on there. He got a dope joint on there. Jamalski, another kind of dance hall type track.
Main Source, Gangstar,
the G-Rap
was on there. Death Threat,
G-Rap one's dope. Yeah, man, like that whole
Black Sheep, Far Side.
And I'm not sure, but I'm kind of think that this was done before MTV started doing the Unplugged. I'm not totally sure, but it seems like this was before the Unplugged kind of became, like, you know, the in thing to do after this album.
I'm not sure, because I know they had
I'm not
Uptown
really sure.
Unplugged. I know they had Uptown Unplugged.
Right there.
Maybe
LL did Unplugged.
So it wasn't before this album? Okay, all right. But yeah, nonetheless, dope, real cool album. So the brand new Heavies, Heavy Rhyme Experience.
Yes. All right. My last joint, this joint right here, Beat Nuts Musical Massacre. I rarely ever hear the beat nuts talked about, period. Again, Queens, Corona niggas, bro. Beat nuts forever. Yo, you're a clown with Biz, God bless the dead. Watch Out Now is my favorite beat nut song ever. So
Watch Out Now,
the joint on here with Greg Nice, check it out, like Puffing on the Cloud. The joint on here with Meth, I can't even pronounce these shits, but yo, this was crazy to me, man. And like, this was, I love the beat nuts. If you know me, I love the beat nuts. If you follow Apartment 5B enough, you will know what my last R&B slept on one is gonna be. Eddie, make fun all you want. I don't give a flying fuck.
You better not.
Okay? I don't give a fuck. It's Myra. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, the Randy Watkins CD? What is that?
What is that?
Randy Watkins?
Randy Watkins.
Make fun of it all y'all want. I don't give a fuck. Yes, the cover looks horrible.
It's a dope album, yo.
Yes, he's laying across the bed in his pajamas. I don't care. It's a dope ass
With shoes
album.
on, though, yo.
Well, but this nigga was on Island Records. Come on, y'all. Like, come on. Like, let's not act like this nigga was like on Def Jam or something. The more to the story, this show is not about the dopest album cover art. This is not that show. This would not make that show. If this was the wackest album cover art, number one. I'm just talking about a slept on album. We can get down with Spinderella. JR is the R&B guru. J-Ru, can you please, can you back me up?
Every time you talk about
Every
it,
time, you're right. You do. It's a very dope album. Just do this. Just, you know what? My bad. From now on, I'm going to just take the damn cover out and just
There you go.
How about that?
There you go.
This, Myra. Listen to this album without the album cover. It's a dope album. Trust me. JR, what's your last joints, man?
Hold up. Any nigga laying on his couch like that ain't got no goddamn job.
Well, yeah, I mean, I don't know if these pictures were any better. I don't know if that picture was better. I don't know if the one with him sitting on this one got him sprawled across the bed on his bed. So I don't think we're getting better.
He's sitting by,
you know what? This is the one. This should have been the album cover.
Right there, yes.
That should have been the album cover.
Kill, I think you just answered the question you asked me earlier. Moist ass nigga.
You're right.
Moist Byron.
And you know what? We are gonna blame the A&R because somebody should have been like, nah, bro, we going with this cover for this gonna be the cover. It's gonna be the cover. So yes. JR, what are you ending us off with tonight, good brother?
The last two is, the first one is Solo. They joint. Nobody talks about that joint with Heaven and where you want me to put it.
Remind me of Solo. Yeah. Solo, remind me of what was
Heaven and where you want me to put it.
Where you want me to put it?
Yeah.
That was the name of the song.
That's what she said? Where you want me to put it?
I'm not messing with you because
I just don't remember the group Solo, and then you tell me the name of the song is tell me where you want me to put it. Like, but Horace Brown got banned off the radio, but they was playing Tell Me Where You Want Me to Put It.
Right.
I ain't fooling with y'all, but whatever. But yeah, that album for real, like they did a lot of Sam Cooke covers on there too. This is Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis's group. I mean,
they produced it?
They produced damn near the whole album, yeah.
Oh, that's all I had to say. So you just leave with the producer. Just tell me Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis did it.
Yeah, they did it. And I mean, it was so many groups. This is 95, so it's a lot of groups, so a lot of people got, swept under the rug, but I think it's a dope project. My late grandma loved it, so she played it like crazy, so she got us to like it. And the last one, a lot of people, she don't even talk about this album because she act like it don't exist. Talk about Mary's Mary album. She act like it don't exist.
I love that album.
Yeah, boy, if you me the hell off, and she tripping. That's one of her best albums ever, and she act like.
So Mary doesn't like that album?
Huh?
Mary doesn't like that album?
Does she act like she like it?
I'm not cool with Mary like you are. I don't know
what like that with her either, but The only two albums she discussed is freaking What's the 411 in My Life, and I'm over it. Like, you got another you got more discography in your discography, especially the Mary album. Like, yo, like, that's a good one. Like, what are we doing?
I love that Mary album. What's that joint? All
that I can say.
Not that joint. Nah, the love I never had. The love I never had.
Oh yeah.
That's crazy. Right. Yeah. This album
is nuts, yo. Like,
yeah, this album is crazy.
She want to fuck around and do Family Affair, which is whack as shit. But anyway.
Yeah. He said she want to fuck around and do Family Affair.
You like that shit bugged me out. I hated that song when I first heard it, and I still hate it to this day. Like, I do not.
Hey, you gotta give the people what they want. The fans love it, so you gotta give the people what they want.
Man, fuck that. That shit is
okay. Bad. Okay, the red cup is kicking in for JR right about now. Okay.
Yeah, that's my last two. That's it.
All right, Grab, what you got left, good brother?
I have one. Well, two. I got two left. I'm gonna just do the two I got. America's Most Wanted by Ice Cube. Don't see a lot of people talk about that album a lot. And Blue Funk.
I got that was one of my joints too, man.
Yeah, Blue Funk, man. From start to finish, that album dope. The first song, Truthful, was based on some true stuff he went through with a chick that y'all might know.
Yeah, it's crazy. Truthful was the shit. The way that album sets off, Truthful is just bananas.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Truthful, Who's the Man, Love Sexy, Yes, y'all, Here Come the Hefster, Bunch of Niggas. Box.
All right, and then can I get a crispy, please? Thank you.
Man, he in the chicken wing spot. He in the chicken spot.
Grab know what to do, man. That brother know what to do, man.
I get 4 chicken wings by heart and shit.
Oh, you out South Street? Oh,
yeah.
You in Lorenzo. You at the pizza spot.
You say what?
I said you at the pizza spot down South Street. That's what's up.
Yes, sir. You said what?
That's what's up. Eddie, what's your last joints, good brother?
I'm gonna do 2 more. So I got Lost Boys, Love, Peace, and Happiness. I feel like, their debut, solo debut, or not solo debut, but their debut album gets all the love, for good reason now. But that follow-up was really dope. Me and My Crazy World, Beast from the East, Cannabis killed that joint. Very dope album. And my next one is Sadat X, Wild Cowboys. You know what I mean? I think we were talking about, with Grand Puba leaving Brand Nubian, and like they had a chip on their shoulder, and I feel like the album was super dope. I mean, the Lump Lump, Hanging High, and all them joints, and Sadat X was so unique. I mean, I heard nobody rap like him, like before, then, and ever since. Like, he's a 101.
Right. I feel you.
No doubt about that.
I feel you. Bro, what you got for your last joint, bro?
On my last two, I got Hard to Obtain, Ism and Blues. I don't know if y'all remember that joint.
Oh, I remember Hard to Obtain.
With the L.I. Groove,
yep.
Ghetto Diamond, you know what I'm saying? They had a nice album, nice 4 mics, 3.5, 4 mic album that got overlooked, you know what I'm saying? And I'm gonna finish in Queens. I'm gonna go Royal Flush, Ghetto Millionaire John, got Iced Out Medallions that everybody knows from. But I like Moving On Your Weak Productions. When I first heard them, that was fire. Iliadic Shine, that album was dope, and not a lot of people mention that joint. Oh, I got one more. I can't. LL, Mr. Smith, bounce back from king of the bounce back. He makes something, and he bounced back with something fire. Mr. Smith had a lot of heat on it. And that's it for me.
Yo, don't forget Worldwide off that Ghetto Flush joint. That was my shit right there.
Worldwide, yeah.
Worldwide was crazy, man. That shit was crazy. Bet, what you got left, bro?
On the R&B side, I had Mary J. Blige, Mary. for all the same reasons you guys mentioned. On the hip hop side, I had out of 1991, Poor Righteous Teachers, Pure Poverty.
Pure Poverty. That new Shaquilla.
Shaquilla, Easy Star. They had a lot of crazy records.
Easy Star is the shit. Easy Star.
But they get forgotten about as a group.
All you hear about them is Rock This Funky Joint. Like, that's it. Like,
right, exactly.
You barely hear the first album mentioned.
Right. But yeah, the second one was crazy. And I remember this was like the first. As a matter of fact, I think I did it on Eddie's freestyle joint. It's the first album like I bought with my own money. So I was like, I don't even know if this shit gonna be good. I paid for it. Let me just rock it. But I, like you said, Kill, that one tape in your deck and your Walkman. And I played the hell out of it. But I was pleasantly surprised. I was like, that was really crazy. But even back then, I didn't know many people who were talking about it because there was a whole bunch of other stuff that was dope. Right. So, but yeah, that was mine. Pure Poverty.
You know the crazy thing, Vague? You just made me think about something. We would listen to shit so much until the tape popped. That's how much we would listen to an album until
the words come off the fucking tape.
The words came off the tape. You don't even know which side is side A and side B anymore. Like, it's crazy. Man, what you got left, good brother?
Well, I was gonna say, I was gonna say AZ Do or Die. I think that album for me, and also, I'm gonna keep it at the crib, man. A lot of people did sleep on that Brand Nubian album. I think it was the first album to get 5 mics as a group. Was All for One. Man.
All right.
That's my personal,
No doubt. All right, no doubt. JP, you got anything left, bro?
I'm gonna go on the R&B side. I'm gonna just go with Usher's first album.
Okay.
Like 94.
Real.
I think Puff was like executive produced the whole album because everybody talks about My Way, then 8701. But that first album, I know he was super young, but it was a well-produced album.
What was the slow jam on that joint?
Crazy.
It was
Many Ways. I think
Albie
Shore did some stuff, and he wrote some things. I think Albie Shore wrote Many Ways. Chucky Thompson did the first single.
Think of You.
Think of You, yeah. I thought that was dope because that.
You talking about Whisper Kill?
Hold up, I'm looking it up now. I know he had a banging slow jam on that joint. First joint going. It's a dope.
I think Devontae did Can You Get With It?
Can You Get With It? That's what it was. Can You Get With It?
Yeah. Devontae did that.
Right.
Devontae did that.
Yeah.
That shit was
crazy.
crazy.
The interludes on that was crazy. Faith Evans thing in backgrounds, like it's a well-produced album, man. I thought it was well-produced. Like, I feel like it doesn't get mentioned as much as it should. I know he was super young, but it was like I thought it was dope. So that's all I got.
All right, no doubt. What you got left, Jens?
I got two of them. I got Too Short's album, Short Dog in the House. That's my favorite Too Short album. I mean, he got 1,000 of them, but this album is my favorite one. The two standout joints is Short But Funky and What Rap. Those two joints off of the Short Dogs in the House album are dope in my opinion, and I think it's an album most people talk about. Life Is Too Short and Born to Mac more than this one. I think this one stands up right with those previous albums. And my last one is by a group called The Coup. They're called The Coup. They're from California. Genocide
from
and
the Bay too, right? They're from the Bay too, right?
And the Funkstress.
Yep. R.I.P. Pam the Funkstress. Yep. But the Genocide and Juice joint, really, really dope album by them. I mean, I think they're a slept-on group. Period. I don't think you see a lot of talk about them, but the Coup are very, very dope. get a chance, check that album out. Genocide and Juice. That's my last one.
All right, no doubt. Extra joints I had: Let the Hustlers Play, Steady B, BDP, KRS produced joint on there called The Undertaker series. Of course, everybody knows the series remix, which was crazy. Life of a Kid in the Ghetto. What you say, Grap?
I was just saying edutainment.
Edutainment. Life in the Kid in the Ghetto, Ed O.G's debut album, which was crazy, produced by Special K, and God, I forgot the other guy's name. My brain is losing it. That's Them, the Artifacts second album. Nobody talks about that joint. It had this joint called The Artifact. Yeah, Teddy P. What you just say?
Teddy Ted.
Yep, Teddy Ted. Thank you. Yeah, thank you. There you go. The Artifacts second album, they had a song called Art of Facts, which was crazy. Nobody talks about that album. And I know me, Evil D, and 5 Foot are the only people who like this album, but I like Warzone, the second Black Moon album. Buckshot ain't even like it, just me, Evil D, and 5 Foot. But I really fucked with the second Black Moon album, Warzone. On the R&B tip, I got I Will Survive by Shantae Savage. Very dope album to me that nobody talks about. Sparkle, produced by Candyman. I know he produced it, but that Sparkle album
is dope. Yeah.
Very dope album.
Yes,
Brian McKnight, the self-titled Brian McKnight with One Last Cry. The joint never felt this way about loving. The joint that he sung when Martin proposed to Gina.
That love.
After the love is gone. And my last joint, the soundtrack, one of my favorites ever, the Mo Better Blues soundtrack. Love that joint. Cinda Williams. Oh God.
Yes, I love that soundtrack.
Harlem Blues, thank you.
Harlem Blues, yeah.
Very dope soundtrack that nobody talks about. Cinda Williams was like, she just appeared and disappeared. Like, I thought she was gonna be shorty, and like, it was nothing. Like, she did a movie with Bokeem Woodbine, and that was it. Like, you never heard from her ever again in life. Like, she just disappeared. All right, y'all. Good looking for Grab. I keep seeing Have name me Grab. Grab, where can they get at you, good brother? What do you have cooking up? People don't know. Grap is a singer on the low. Rap JR and the R&B trio in a second. Y'all don't know. I've been asking for this I album, and I really should have been asking for the Grap Lover solo singing album right now. Grap, what do you have cooking up, good brother?
I'm a note holder, man. Real quick before I get my stuff up, I just want to give a quick honorable mention to an album. I don't think it was made in the 90s, but it's a dope album. It's a debut album of an artist named Chocolate from Seattle, Washington. If you ever get your hands on a chance,
R&B or hip hop?
R&B, right?
But it's
I've heard of that.
Beat, like ill beats,
Chocolate?
Chocolate is her name.
Yes, I know exactly who you're talking
about. K in her name, CHOKLATE, Chocolate. She's from. You know about her, JP?
Yeah, I know the name. Definitely know the name. I've heard a couple of
JR, if you don't know about this album,
I just wrote it down. I'm on it.
Trust me when I tell you, this chick is vicious with it, man. Okay. Vicious with it. And I think Jake One and Vitamin D worked on her beats because she's from Seattle. I knew Jake One worked on that album, but I think Vitamin D also contributed to it. So worth checking out. But have named me Grap at Twitter. Love y'all, man. Y'all be blessed. It's good to see brothers safe and healthy and strong. I'm going to peel off of this one.
No doubt, man. Have a good time in Philly with wifey, man.
Yeah, no doubt. Starting time in Philly. She said peace to all the brothers and love and blessings to y'all.
Yo, if you want to get some cheesesteaks, get at me. Don't be just
I don't eat meat. You know, I don't eat meat. I'm backsliding with this pizza right now, man.
I don't want you going to the wrong spots up there, man. I gotta make sure y'all good up there.
Brother. You good. I know not to hit gyms and not to hit Ishkabills, and I don't even eat that stuff. But I know.
It's all good, bro. All right, baby. I'll rap with you. JR, you're ready.
Always.
JR, where can they get at you, good brother?
Oh, just at the R&B Reps on Twitter, R&B Representatives on Instagram. Me and Elise is coming back with season 3. We got a lot in store. I can't wait for y'all to see it. Junior's World of Soul on Instagram, Junior's World of Soul on Twitter. But yeah.
All right, Eddie, where can they get at you, good brother?
Yo, on Twitter, Eddie the 80, freestyles on IG.
All right, no doubt. Amir, real quick, what's going on with the Dope Boy Soul album produced by the Chocolate Boy Wonder, the legendary Pete Rock? We're seeing it this year, right? We're getting in 2022, correct?
Bro, listen. I don't want to sound unsure. I really want to leave some mystique around it. We definitely in the green. We're not in the red with it. We definitely in the green. So I could say that. And you know, it's done, and we here with it. I'll leave that. But I'm excited. I'm excited for it. Don't you know? Because I really want y'all to hear this joint. But you know, now we in that critical stage where we kind of like really drilling down on the particulars about each record. You know, out of the ones we chose for the project, and you know, he's gonna definitely have his last say on it. I have my little 2 cents, you know, because it is my project, but still, you know, you gotta run it by the principal.
Right.
So yeah, but ultimately, man, I'm definitely excited for it. And just, you know, I record every day still, you know, so you know, I was always told that the album's not done until it come out, you know what I mean? So we just kind of keep recording and keeping, but the core of the shit is done. That's a fact. You know, I let you get your ears on it.
Right.
So, so now, you know, that's that as far as, and, you know, he did release some of the artwork that was done by Damian Scott, homeboy from Marvel and DC Comics. That was fire. And, you know, like I said, man, I got some new beats from him that I'm working on. Joints from you, a few other people. And I'm just in the lab every day, bro. We definitely probably drop a mixtape, though, before maybe 7 to 10 joints. You know, right before that. You know, I'm thinking about a name for that now, kind of like skating with a theme for that. But other than that, man, they can find me at on Twitter at 25th Hour Man, number 2, number 5, THHOURMAN, and on Instagram, Amir AMXXR. You know what I'm saying? And you can find 21 Grams. It's on Bandcamp. It's on Audio Mac. It's on SoundCloud. Those platforms that we wouldn't get dinged on for streaming it because they was, you know, those samples was crazy on there.
Right.
So yeah, but with the next joint, we probably won't get, you know, we're gonna do it the other way. So now, like I said, man, keep it short and brief. Yeah, we good. And you know, I'm here. In good shop. I'm ready.
All right, no doubt. Next day here, right there. I send the mayor beat on Monday. I get it back Tuesday. Next day here, right there. Hey, tell them everything that's going on, good brother.
You can follow me on social media at Vegas World INC. That's Twitter, Instagram, TikTok. No, I don't be dancing and shit. So I look like I be doing some of that shit. But and you can check out my podcast. Got a couple of podcasts. My weekly news podcast, Hip Hop Now podcast. Also, I have a boxing podcast that I do with Tony from Into the Dome and Robert Silver, which is a monthly podcast called Championship Rounds Podcast. And I have a brand new podcast called Hip Hop Twitter with Yinks that we do. We're in season 2. It's all based around short form podcasting, so less than 20 minutes of your time, but it's all about hip hop takes that you hear or that Yinks sees on Twitter and brings them to me, and I haven't heard shit, so you get my natural reaction. I edit the cuss words out. But we do a lot of unique things too with the production to make it entertaining. So definitely check it out. Definitely.
Yeah, that's a blessing that you censor the curse words. I hang out with too many Jodeci ass niggas over here, so it takes me the whole entirety of my life to edit every curse word out of here. So definitely, I'll tell you, I need more boys. I need more boys than men niggas in my lives, man. I got too many Jodeci niggas around me, man. Niggas who don't follow rules, don't give a fuck, you know, don't take your shoes off, just do whatever the fuck they want to do, man. So, bro, tell them everything you got going on, good brother.
Uptown Rail 215 on Twitter, JBen215. No, hold on. That's on the gram. JBen215 is on Twitter. Did I say that right? I don't know, man. I've been working hard, man. So I've been working too hard, man. But yeah, other than that, still working on music. About to put the first single out. Yeah, so that's what I'm doing.
Right, no doubt. JP, what's going on, good brother? I know you cooking up something, talking about the podcast, the beats, the music, everything.
Yeah, well, the podcast's on pause right now, but focusing on a few things. You could hit me up JPaz Music on Twitter and Instagram, JPAZ Music. Working on something, so hopefully be releasing some new music this year, maybe in the next few months. Hopefully, still grinding on that. That's the main focus right now. So,
all right, you shooting anything?
Not lately. I mean, I just did some weddings and stuff and some other little events, but right now I'm focused on some creative stuff. So we'll see. I'm planning some things. All right.
That's what's up. Yes. Where can I get at you, good brother?
Let me give me a little time. I want to tell a quick story if I can, please.
Do your thing, good brother.
I want to tell y'all about the power of prayer, right? I'm a firm believer in the power of prayer. So this holiday weekend that just passed, well, first of all, let me say this. My wife's a breast cancer survivor, right? She got diagnosed in 2014. We've been blessed. She's been in remission since, all of that. But this weekend, she checked herself like ladies should, and she felt something, right? So immediately, everything went crazy, right? So, again, power of prayer. Fast forward to Tuesday, we had a doctor's appointment. She got checked out. There's no tumor. There's no cancer. We good. We thankful. And that's just all I wanted to say. Believe in that, man. Take prayer with you. Believe that it works. I'm a witness today, and I'm telling y'all right now, it works. So that's it.
What's up, bro?
It's a beautiful thing, man. Beautiful thing.
Thank you.
It's funny because I'm glad you touched on that. One of the things that happened with me lately, people know 4 years ago, one of my students who's like a son to me, Tay, got murdered. And he's been on my mind lately. And then yesterday, his sister came to see me. It warmed my day, just made my day to see her. Then I got home and they convinced me to get a new iPad because I got all these books around here. She was like, "You look like a fucking graffiti artist. Like, nigga, you got 100 notebooks. You need to just get an iPad and just take notes in the iPad." So I'm syncing the iPad and I found this video of Tay. I haven't seen in 4 years. It's of me cutting his hair and I haven't heard his voice and he's talking. And I was like, yo, this just really, I'm like, wow, should I show his mom or not? So I'm going back and forth. Then the day there was something going on in my hood. And there was no parking, so I had to park next to his memorial. His memorial was around the corner, right where he died at. And I never go past it because I don't like it. So it's like I see his sister, I find the video, I have to park right next to his memorial. And then the first person I see when I get to the hood is his mother. And I was like, yo, I'm gonna just fucking ask her, yo, do you want to see this? If you don't want to see it now, that's cool. I'm gonna save it whenever you. And she's like, nah, Mr. Kill, I need to see that. And she saw it, tears wild up, and she's like, I need it. Gave me the biggest hug. So I always just say, don't stress about stuff. God will give you the answer. Because I was really yo, do I show it to her? I don't want to upset her. But, and I was like, fuck it, let me just ask you. If you don't want to see it now, that's cool. You can play it later. But, so I'm with you, Jens. And again, I don't take any of those things as coincidence. He got killed 2 blocks away from my hood. That's how far I had to park and walk 2 blocks because there was no parking. So, glad to hear about your wife, Jens, because like you said, man, we're getting older. We got to check on ourselves. Shit is happening. We at the age where shit start falling apart. So we really, I know it don't look like shit falling apart, but shit be falling apart. You want to keep it a buck. You already know this with me, Kill 889, Twitter, IG. Me and Vern got out our album, I Don't Mind. It's at GRIOTVRN.bandcamp.com. It's now on streaming services, but again, I always challenge people, if you fuck with it, and only if you fuck with it. I would never ask, if somebody say, Kill, I don't like the album, then I don't even want you to buy the album. I appreciate your support. If you don't like it, by no means, don't buy it. But if you do fuck with it, all I'm saying is buy it. If you can't buy it, tell somebody about it. If you do buy it, still tell somebody about it. So again, as indie artists, this is what we got to do. Word of mouth is really, to this day, the most important thing that's out here. Me and Vegas have a dope project out, Willmatic, that's dedicated to his cousin Ill Will, who passed away. All proceeds of that go to Miss Versi, Vegas' aunt, Ill Will's mother. So definitely check that out, vegasworldinc.bandcamp.com. And y'all already know what it is with me. I'll check y'all next week, good peoples.